Yeah, we'll fix that. Thanks for the heads up.
But you can switch over to Facebook if you'd like, and you
could
be watching us live.
You could.
You can see, I believe that's Steve coughing right there in the Chick-fil-A balloon, or it could be Shalina, Shamo.
There it goes.
All right, we're up on YouTube.
YouTube's
folks.
up. Thanks for the heads up.
Thank you.
What a crack audience we have, huh?
We do. Hey, if it's not going, they're letting us know.
Crack production team, and so we're good to go.
So it just shows you we do actually read a lot of your comments. I mean, there's tons that come in. So.
Yeah, we don't get to all of them, but we certainly try. Yeah.
We got Gardendale, Texas checking in this morning, as well as, I'm right across the river in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so we appreciate that.
Well, they maybe just might get there today, huh?
Yeah, they may.
I didn't look really close at the direction of the box, but I did see winds from 0, which is directly out of the north, and I saw them at 180 at about 1,500 feet, so that's directly out of the south. But
well, I just got an update from Duncan.
Okay.
Let's see here. We have the wind out of so it's on a compass, and if anybody's ever read a compass, 0 being dead north.
Dead north, yep.
And then 180 being dead south.
Right.
So right now, the wind at 107 feet is out of 19 degrees.
Okay,
and it is
so
at 5
kind of a little bit more north-northeast.
Yep, 5.5 miles per hour on this grid. As we get up here, let's see where the change happens. We get a little bit of a change at 715 feet. It's out of 138, so a little bit out of the southeast, going to the northwest at 4.1.
By the way, there's Matthew.
Yes, there's Matthew. I believe that's his mom, Ruthie, and his father as well.
It is. It is. Yes. They're in the basket this morning.
So they get to fly.
Whoa, yeah.
Wow.
That'll be nice.
I thought I thought yesterday he said he's not claiming those folks.
He said that when they were up here on the set. We were taking these pictures after the show. Yeah.
Right.
But we had been texting back and forth. Actually, I had a really nice conversation with Matthew a couple of months ago, and he told me how big of a fan his mom was and how she was desperately trying to win one of our license plates. So,
right.
And then she came up earlier on the show, and we didn't have a chance to chat with her. And he was like, I sent him up there, and they wouldn't let him talk to you. And I said, no, you need to send him now that the show's over.
Right.
And he says, she's behind your backdrop.
They were waiting very patiently. Like
they were.
The last half hour.
What pleasant people to have conversations with.
It was a lot of fun. So then the other switch is up at about 2,500 feet. The winds are out at 331 at 4.9. I'm not seeing anything mile per hour wise that's out of the realm of any balloon activities. You go to 4,500 feet. It is at 20.3 out of 257, but you may have some competitors go up there and try and wrangle their way around the sky. But
if they really needed that direction.
If they needed that direction, yeah. But it looks like it's shaping up very well. And again, a lot of these readings will change as that sun comes up and starts to heat the ground. We've talked about it many, many times. And Don Day and Duncan, part of this crack weather team that Fiesta brings out, we are missing Brad Tiedemeyer this year. So, Brad, I know you're out there in Kansas City, and we send our best to you and hope to see you back here soon, my friend.
You can bet Brad and Don and Duncan are all having little conversations.
I'm sure those texts start flying bright and early in the morning.
They've been going, I'm sure they've been.
And since Brad's an hour ahead of us, I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Yep. He might have probably got up and started them.
Right.
Just out of habit, he's up that early.
He is the instigator kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. So, actually, we already have it. Matthew's in the air. No, that's not Matthew.
No.
I see, it was dark. As soon as he burned, I realized it wasn't Matthew, but I thought maybe he had gotten up. But our Dawn Patrol, and looky there, exactly what we were talking about, coming directly out of the north, out of that 0, moving towards the 180.
Yep. And that's Chuck Schick from Bosque Farms, I believe. I've got the lights right in my face here.
Yeah.
So I'll have to wait till, that's him.
Moving just a little quick.
Yeah, that's a little bit faster than what it's reading here. About 200 feet, it says 5.5. It may be that 8.5 layer that's making its way down right above that.
Well, it's actually a good thing if it comes down quickly for competition. But it does mean that they're not going to be hanging over the field like yesterday. That was incredible to have the entire Dawn Patrol team in the air, hanging right over the field for what seemed like 30 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't move very far. It was incredible. It was an incredible start to the day. It was a incredible mass ascension, and then wrapped it up with a phenomenal glow.
Yeah.
think that's Peanuts Forever there.
Yep, Ron Thornton off the west side of the field.
And you can kind of see now, again, I was talking this morning here on the set with a couple people. Now he's kind of going maybe out of that 20 that we were talking about, headed down. Same thing with Matt.
And he's a little bit lower than Chuck was when he went over.
Yep.
And there goes Matthew.
Well, rest assured, we'll see these guys back here soon.
Actually, you know what? They told me that they would be on the radio. Let's see if we can pick up what's going on from those guys. So if you heard that,
yes, they're going 13 miles an hour off just a little bit off the surface. And again, that last pieball reading was about an hour ago. So that's this. You know what? This is the drainage mixing in. This is where the inversion is coming down, and it starts to come down from Santa Fe around the Sandia Mountains into the valley.
And what we're talking about is because wind follows the same pattern water would, it goes to the lower altitude. So that's the drainage. It's coming down the mountain valley, coming down from the higher elevation of Santa Fe. And so you'll hear pilots talk about that north drainage wind because that's exactly what happens. When the sun comes up, that starts mixing out, and that's when we start getting other. So 010, that's not far off from your 19.
Yep. And that was at 6 miles an hour.
Yep. It's warm.
Well, it's funny they're saying that because today is the coolest day of the start of this Fiesta. And one of our camera people up here, I kind of had to chuckle a little bit. She's up here in a heated jacket and a beanie.
I have definitely been up here in days when I would have loved not only the heated jacket, but the heated vest, the heated underwear, socks, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There have been days.
Yes, there have.
Although last year was kind of like we never put a jacket on.
No.
So we continue to launch Dawn Patrol, and we're listening in on their aircraft radio communications.
That right
when
there.
They get everybody in the air, they may do an all burn, but as fast as they're moving, I think they're just going to kind of go fly this morning.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and show the pilots down on the ground what's up there.
And we'll probably see some of them go up to that altitude where the direction
is going to bring us
switches back around.
There's Tim Taylor.
The big pie balls, we call them.
Right on cue. And again, like every other event here at Fiesta, it's at pilot's discretion. So you notice we did not have all 12.
Yeah.
And that's...
Look at the shot, looking at the basket.
That's Shalona flying this morning.
You can kind of tell that's Chick-fil-A because of the ears.
Right.
We're giving away our trade secrets as to how to identify all these people.
Oh, there's a great shot.
Yeah.
With the moon setting. And now if you notice Chick-fil-A, they have just kind of stalled maybe about 50 feet off the ground. Rick Jones up there causing all sorts of havoc as he flies over us from Concord, New Hampshire. Well, here we go. Right above us is Chuck, and he's gotten to altitude, and he's actually heading north back over the field.
Absolutely.
About that 4 or 5 mile an hour wind that we talked about. So he's found it, and he's going to be coming back from that 180 going dead north again.
So there's your box.
Yes, it's in place.
There's your box.
And that happens quite a bit. You know, you'll see these fast layers down at the surface, and then once you get up, it can start playing around in the sky over Fiesta Field. The pilots are required once they clear the field and they've climbed at a rate of ascent of no more than 200 feet a minute to at least come back over the field at 500 feet above the ground. That allows all the traffic below to also continue to launch.
And I don't know how accurate it is scientifically, but we've always told people that when you get that drainage wind coming down from the north to the south, obviously all that air that was up at the north has to be replaced with something. That's why the wind comes back around. to kind of fill in, and that's that whole circular or box effect that we have.
Right.
So yeah, they're starting to kind of gather together now. We're able to
there's just
get
that
back
quick, that quick drainage layer off the deck is what we're feeling.
Yeah, there's a couple of them even higher as we kind of look back. So they're just climbing up there, and then they get up. All right, so we've been talking about all the weather here this morning. Let's go get the official word from Pilot's Briefing. Looks like we have all that fixed up. So let's join Pilot's Briefing this morning.
In terms of high pressure,
I'm getting there.
we're getting there. I'll just talk while we go over through this. Big picture is we're still under a big ridge of high pressure, and we're going to be under clear skies. Winds, you can feel the wind. We have a bit of a drainage wind right now, and that drainage wind is likely going to continue through the next hour, hour and a half or so. The temperature up in Santa Fe and the air pressure is perfectly set up to get that drainage wind flowing through here. The end result is going to be a box setting up overhead throughout the morning hours. I want to point out something that's going to be coming in here into New Mexico. It's not going to affect us this morning, but it's going to play a role here later this afternoon. We have a surface cold front that's just north and east of the Sandias right now, just crossing the Colorado-New Mexico border. It's going to stay out on the eastern plains, but we do have this front that's pushing in, and later today, we're going to have thunderstorms in eastern New Mexico. They should generally stay out of this area, but it does signal a little bit of a change that's coming on later. I talked about the temperature difference, which leads to an air pressure difference between Santa Fe. Now, it's certainly not 58 on the field right now. It's 47, but at Sunport at 5 a.m. it was 58. So that difference in temperature and air pressure is bringing that air, cooler air, down the river and through Fiesta Field right now. You saw it with Dawn Patrol heading off south and then coming back. That's how it's going to be here through the morning. Our latest pie ball, a reminder, you can find this on your WhatsApp, is definitely showing the box situation developing today. We're not expecting any clouds, showers, or thunderstorms here through the morning hours. We're also expecting the inversion to be somewhat similar to what we had yesterday. It's going to be rather robust. This coolness is certainly helping, and it should last well into the 9 o'clock hour before it begins to break down. The latest half for Albuquerque looks very good. Winds are from the north-northeast at 4 knots, 6 miles plus visibility in clear conditions. Double Eagle is basically the same. So we're in a good setup today. Expect that inversion after that 9:30 time frame as it warms up a little bit to break up. Weather helper of the day. Do we have our weather helper of the day? We do. Ashlyn Wells. Do we have a zebra? There we go. High ball up and away. A reminder, the weather loop is running continuously at 119.475, and today I think it'll be very helpful to tune in. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give Don and the whole weather team.
So there you had it, confirming what we were talking about.
Right.
And setting things up that way so that there is a box. When he was talking about the different winds patterns, we heard obviously about the thunderstorms on the east side, which is going to cause some weather. The other thing he brought up that we didn't talk about is the fact that the barometric pressure, when that is higher in one place and lower in another, you get winds from the high to the low.
Right.
So it must be higher in Santa Fe than in Albuquerque, which is setting up some of that drainage.
And yeah, you know, what happens is that, again, that pressure that's building up around where he was talking about,
yep,
the cold front is then forcing its way around the mountains. You know, having the Sandias there and the San Diego Cristos, you have your point of the way that wind follows water. It comes around, and a lot of times the Sandias will act as a wind block.
Right.
And it has to find its way around, so that's when it's.
Well, that's why we get in Albuquerque. You hear us talk about the East Canyon winds. It can't get through the mountain. It finds its way through the canyon, through that lower hole that comes through there.
And you'll oftentimes have a lot of weather growing up here, you'll have these storms that'll come in, especially in the summertime, and you'll see them come rolling in, and they hit the Sandia Mountains and come right back into the
bounce
city.
right back in.
Yeah.
So a couple of other things. We actually now have the ability to see the same graphics that they throw up on the screens out there for the pilots. So we saw them live as the pilots were seeing them. And there was one thing. We have all the abbreviations.
All the acronyms, correct.
Yeah, so the TAF.
TAF calls for Terminal Area Forecast. So as a balloon pilot, when you go to flight school, when you go to training, you have to learn all these acronyms. So whenever you call for weather, you're going to really want to know what the terminal area forecast is, because although you may be launching at 7, you want to know what it's going to be doing an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours ahead of time to kind of plan your game, so to speak.
So that's the terminal area forecast, which we hear when they say TAF.
Correct.
The other one is the METAR, and that is basically the current conditions.
Correct.
So those are the two terms that we use a lot. And then when we talk about winds aloft, we talk about them as being at different altitudes. And you've already talked about those. We talked about the surface winds being at this speed at this direction. Then when you get to be 100 feet off the ground, then it's this speed at this direction.
And depending on what profiler or tracker you're using, some of them are in knots and some of them are in miles per hour. So it just really depends on the pilot's preference. It's like the difference between a Toyota and a Honda.
Right, yeah. So you just have to kind of ask. The other thing that trips people up is sometimes we just give the compass direction, but we're not necessarily clear. Are you telling me that's the direction it's coming from or blowing to? So, and sometimes they throw in things like heading and that kind of stuff. I was having a conversation with a pilot a couple of weeks ago, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if we all just said it's coming from 350, it's going to 10, whatever those numbers happen to be. If we just all did that, then there would be no confusion.
But then it would be too easy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make you think.
And, here's just something that we've both experienced over the 30-some years of flying. We used to have to call and talk to someone who would give us the details. In fact, I still have there was a pad, like those while you were out pads that we used to use for messages, before we even had voicemail. We had made up a pad of that, which actually you would just fill in. It was, the order that the briefer was going to give you this stuff. And you just wrote it all down, and you had it that way. I found my pad of that the other day.
That's funny.
Now you go online. You don't actually have to talk to the briefer. You can log on. You can select what you want. It's very graphical as far as
you take a screenshot, put it on your phone, and then you don't have to make a note.
Yeah, actually, the briefing makes a PDF for you, and it's there for 45 days. You can always go download it. But all the weather maps, and most recently, all the winds aloft forecasts. So now you can look at what the winds are going to be at 6,000 feet, at 9 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock, and
Well, and back in 1972, when Sid Cutter and his brother Bill went out on the mesa here in Albuquerque, they just kicked some dirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things have changed.
And that was even after they'd flown for a few times. The first time, it was like to hear Sid tell the story. They were in the basket, and somebody let go of the rope, and up they went.
Yes.
So
trial by air, I guess.
They figured out that if they burned, they went up, and if they didn't, they came down.
Right.
Then they figured out that there was a line to pull to let some air out of the top. Oh yeah. Before Sid passed on, I had an opportunity to record an interview with him and a few other folks to be able to get all those great stories, and it was always great to hear those. Actually, and we talked to, Diane talked to his grandson, Chris Cutter, during the Globitos part of yesterday morning.
Did.
So you can go back and catch that as well. And Chris, of course, referred to Grandma, which would be Jewel Cutter, Sid's wife.
Yeah, I saw Jewel on the first day here and asked her if I could get a little interview from her. And she says, Ted, I would do anything for you, but I'm not balloon ready.
She shies away from the camera and the microphone. We usually can trap her a time or two just to say hi, something like that. So she doesn't like that level of limelight. She's just happy to be out and among and watch all the smiles.
And she's got a great smile herself.
She does.
Every time I see her, it just brings my day up.
And by the way, if you do get out here to the field, you do need to head over towards the Sid Cutter Pilots Pavilion. There's a really nice statue of Sid sitting on the side of the basket with his puppy dogs in the basket. And every year, Jewel comes out and dresses him up for the event.
Yep, that's where I saw her. And you heard Chris yesterday for his little Globito. He was looking for some little retriever puppies to stick in his
Right,
basket.
yeah,
So
yeah.
keep it with the family tradition.
So that's, always nice. And it was good that he came up to actually touch base with him last night up here. Balloon Fiesta really does turn into an entire family reunion type time.
It is.
People from all around the world come together for 9 days, 10 days with registration. Maybe you extend it into 2 weeks. And it's just an old homecoming family reunion the whole time.
Yeah, all the people that both you and I know throughout the country and the world, we try and get to see as many people as we can. And, depending on what you're doing, I remember when I was a pilot or a safety official or now, you really put forth the effort because we are one big happy family. And it's a lot of fun to come out here. This is one of the things that brings me back to Albuquerque.
There you go. So our balloon of the day, that's going to be that's either the tarp that's in the white there, or it's going to be one of our balloons of the day. I'm not sure yet.
Right.
The yellow bubbles you see in the back are our Rainbow Rider balloons starting to get cold inflated, which actually means that we've got time to do a little bit of business here this morning. So we are giving away 3 Balloon Fiesta Live license plates every single session of the 14 sessions of the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And so if those of you who don't know, the state of New Mexico many years ago actually had an official license plate with this design. We're reprinting those thanks to our good friends at the sign store, Al Sanchez, Al Padilla, and the sign store over there. And so we're giving these away, and you can win yours by scanning our QR code and putting your information in. Now, I caught somebody this morning.
Uh-oh.
Doubling up.
Uh-oh.
Like only 4 minutes apart.
Well, let me tell you something. Most people may not know this, but Art was a school teacher. So he knows all the tricks, folks. So I would not even try that. But yeah, one time only, please. And once you enter in to win for that, we all automatically put you in for
a Balloon Fiesta Live jacket. So you've seen our team wearing it. Ted keeps wearing his shirt sleeves. That's so he can take the jacket off and show it to you here. But these are the same jackets that we have given to our special shape pilot. So it's a special shape jacket with the embroidered on the back. On the front, the Balloon Fiesta Live logo on one side and the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta logo on the other side. So we're giving away 3 license plates per session, 1 jacket per day. Our internet connection here to be able to get in and do the pulling of that is it's a little off today. So I think we're going to have to delay announcing this morning's winners. We're going to give them away. We're just not going to be able to announce this morning's winners until tomorrow because we don't have an evening
first
session.
thing tomorrow.
Yeah, so we may be a little delayed in announcing them, but actually it gives you more time to get in and more opportunities to win. So do those. We'll do them all the way through the end of the session. That's the way for you to be able to get in on our giveaway. And again, just one time, don't make me go pull the duplicates out. I won't be happy about that.
And if you haven't had the opportunity yet, go on to the Balloon Fiesta website and go to balloonfiestastuff.com because we're going to give you 10% off your entire order of sportswear if it's online only. And you're going to use the code BFLive. That's BFLive.
For Balloon Fiesta Live.
Correct.
Yep.
And you'll save, again, 10% off on all sportswear, which includes hats, hoodies, T-shirts, socks, anything you can wear for the most part. You're going to receive 10% off. Plus, there's all the other great things. We saw the poster. The artist was up here yesterday with us. That stuff is selling out really quickly. The pen was phenomenal. So it's something that I think I need to wander on over there and pick up 1 or 2 for some friends back home.
It's a great way to do that. So there is the site. If you scan that QR code, it will take you directly to Balloon Fiesta Stuff. The official Balloon Fiesta merchandise store. Look for the AIBF tag on especially on our sportswear. We actually create the sportswear, so you won't. It's not another brand that we slap a logo on. We actually create our own merchandise now. We do have, especially on the sportswear side. The QR code will get you there. Enter the code BFLive. You'll save that 10%. That code expires on the Monday after Balloon Fiesta, so do your shopping early. That code only works online, but you can go shopping at the merchandise tents here on the field or to our physical gift shop, which is at the corner of Balloon Museum Drive and Alameda here in Albuquerque. Online, open 24/7. Our gift shop open year-round with basically Monday through Friday hours outside of Balloon Fiesta. Our merchandise tents open from early morning till mid-morning, and again from mid-afternoon till late evening here on the field.
During night events only.
During night events only, yes. But
Well,
as you said, some stuff is getting in short supply, so don't wait too long. Hey, and you know what we always do seem to have a lot of copies of are the program and the calendar. The 2026 calendar is already available, and so you're going to want to pick those up. We produced that calendar. It's got great pictures on full page pictures and a lot of little ones. We were showing that off the other day, and I noticed that one of the little thumbnail pictures, I think it's on April, is actually me.
Nice.
And it's kind of like, so you'll probably want to skip that month, you know.
Well, it's usually windy, so it'll just blow right by.
It'll blow right by. That's true. That's true.
And in the program this year, there's a nice write-up about the Balloon Fiesta Live team. And I had people, the minute that it came out, this was weeks before Balloon Fiesta, they were calling, hey, did you know about this? And I really didn't know about it, but it was a phenomenal article, and it talks a lot about almost a decade of us producing and archiving all the shows, so you can go back and enjoy every single moment of Balloon Fiesta Live at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I'm Ted Maes. This is my broadcast partner,
Art Lloyd Jr. And you know, since we still have a few minutes here, where are we? It's oh yeah, we've got about 20 minutes here before we're going to hit 7 o'clock in the national anthem. So it's probably a good time to take a look at some of those viewer pictures that have been sent to us. Diane, by the way, has the morning off this morning because we're going to do competition. So a couple of in-flight pictures here.
Yes, this is Art Palmer and his wife Ann Palmer. They're from Middletown, New York, and this is Artie's very first Balloon Fiesta as a pilot in command. And
excellent.
Look at that grin and those smiles, and they fly the balloon AHA, and that stands for Art and their daughter Heather and their son Artie Jr. So thank you, Art and Ann, for sending that in to us.
And on the right side,
I believe that's from Dr. Seth Hunter, who's out here. He's originally from Farmington, New Mexico, but now he is a doctor in Indianapolis, Indiana. So he took that photo for us, flying high above Fiesta Field yesterday. And there you can see the two waves we were talking about. The end of wave one.
Well, how we split the field, really.
Yeah.
So we're working from the south. We start from the middle because the field is that big. And then, yes, we would go through all of that. Again, those clear spots we hadn't gotten to yet.
Correct.
So,
and that's looking from the north to the south.
The other thing I liked about this picture is look around the edges. Look at all the cars parked all around the edges.
Look at all the people on the middle.
And all the people in the middle of the field. Yeah. That's really what I like about those kinds of shots. And, of course, you got the balloons flying over the top of it as well.
So, Dr. Seth, thank you for that photo.
You betcha.
Keep them coming, sir.
And so this was, I believe this cat is Luna, who was helping watch. Had to turn away to be part of the picture.
Yep.
Oh, here's another one
Here's a special one. This was taken by a spectator. That is my Uncle Pete Adair on the right-hand side and his daughter Colleen. Very special photo.
They were up here last night.
He enjoyed himself thoroughly, yes.
So this picture is from Margaritaville in Texas.
Nice.
And he was...
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, and I can't tell that he's watching. He said he was watching, but that's where he was watching us from.
In the pool or in the jacuzzi. Very nice.
Yeah, in Margaritaville. So I appreciated that one.
I hope he didn't drop his shaker salt in the water with him.
Yeah, no kidding. So Diane found this couple on the field yesterday, and he wanted to take a selfie picture with her. And then she turned the tables and interviewed them, and they talked about how they watch Balloon Fiesta Live all the time. They're going to be in the Gondola Club at the end of the week, listening here again, but they come out all the time. So here's that selfie picture that we saw taken on air yesterday when they were talking with Diane.
Very nice. They were very excited.
This guy, great picture here with the Sir Mix-a-Lot in the back. He said he'd been watching us for years and really wanted the shout out. Well, there you go, man. There's your picture. Thanks for sending it in. More cats watching the zebras.
Yes, prowling on them.
Yeah. And this one was, I guess, I don't know if these people are from this school, but yeah. obviously got in the basket at one point, so you get that great shot looking up to see them in the basket behind them and then on the outside. So another one of those pictures taken from the field, obviously paying attention to Balloon Fiesta Live. The JU Blackshear School, they are here on the field. And this is Watching for Grandpa.
Okay.
Dave Sullivan, a pilot out of Atlanta, who is here. Alyssa, I think Alyssa is his daughter.
That's correct.
So that would make this the grandchild. I'm not sure which sex.
Of Mr. Sullivan.
Yep. Watching for Grandpa on the TV. Maybe one of our youngest viewers this year.
Yep.
Another cat picture. This one's not too interested in watching what's going on.
No.
Probably not its favorite balloon. Great shot of our Dawn Patrol. People watching on their TV
And that was
monitor.
from yesterday when they
That
were
was
hanging
yesterday
out
morning
all
when
over
they
the
were all
field.
hanging.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is another grandchild. So this is the granddaughter's first balloon fiesta on the shoulders of Dad there. This is from Cavell Miller. Cavell is our administrative assistant receptionist at Balloon Fiesta.
Oh, yes, yes.
And her son and granddaughter just moved back to New Mexico just a month or so ago. And so she was out here. And that's Steggy, the RC balloon. So the
Mini
little,
Steggy.
Yeah, the mini Steggy. So you can see the size of the people there. So,
and if the people weren't there, you would think that's the normal.
You'd think it was well. Yeah, in fact, my first look was, oh yeah, out there with Steggy, and then I looked a little closer and realized it was the mini one. So,
right.
Cavell shared that with the staff and said I could share it with all of you. So, thanks for doing that, Cavell. And these folks, they're having lunch in the UK. We talked earlier about the time zone difference. So they're watching for the Panther balloon because the pilot of the Panther balloon is their nephew.
Oh.
So, yeah, not really a watch party, he said. We're just enjoying Sunday lunch. So
their nephew must be Matt Sampson.
That would be
from Bristol Avon.
There you go. And then these were just a few pictures that folks in the area. I love that panoramic. You see all the balloons in the sky. And then even a little closer, you got the balloons landing in the houses, out in the open space. And then, of course, the brain.
Yes.
So just a few pictures that someone took in town and sent them. These guys kind of have been watching for years, and they sent me a series of these. The dogs are engaged or not, depending on the picture.
But it's so cool that they're in their vehicle, on their computer, watching Balloon Fiesta
Watching
live.
it, yeah. And I remember that shot on the right there that we had on the air because we talked about the basket being up against that Inn of the Mountain Gods balloon and how you could see the size difference. And Sister is watching from, I think it was Washington, and she catches her brother on the camera. He's the zebra.
Oh, gotcha.
And, of course, Diane is there. We were talking to all of them. That's when we were interviewing Ken Beebe.
Yes.
The pilot. He was talking about Kavoo and his additional pilot, Greg Carrasco, in the basket there. So, and then Mom was out there as well, and they shared a couple of Mom pictures with him as well. So, great fun that they were able to see this. They said these might be the youngest in training balloon pilots or future balloon pilots coming up. Hey, you don't need to take my picture. I'm busy watching the show.
Right,
here,
right.
know?
Well, I love the pins over here on the
Yeah,
right.
look at that pin collection.
Yeah, well, that's how I started. When I was a little bit younger than that, I think I had on a little one of the little hoops you used to buy at at the department store or whatever.
Yeah.
My mom's. They didn't make all the cool stuff like they make today.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome.
And then more on the field or landing pictures that got shared with us. Obviously, a young set in front of Smokey Bear.
Looks like someone's stopping for some breakfast at the BK there.
That was right over there by Cottonwood. And then that looks like Tim Taylor landing right there in a neighborhood street intersection.
Well, of course he did.
Yeah, sure. And attracting all the people. So I just those are from different people, the different shots. I just kind of combined them all together. And Gunther, who is getting excited when he recognizes a particular balloon. We talked about that being Flip-Flop Fantasies that came up on the air. And that balloon just got sold to a new person as well.
Yeah, Roger Clark from Greer, South Carolina. Roger used to be part of the safety team out here. In fact, my first year, he was on the safety team with me. at Balloon Fiesta, and he has a couple additional pilots, Dan Gerbis and Joseph Hurd.
So a lot of folks sharing that one. Do you have a couple more? Oh yeah, another spectator.
Oh,
Yes.
how cute.
Isn't that a great picture? Yeah.
I can't tell what they're holding.
Just holding on to some little toy or something.
Yeah.
And all the balloons in the background. And you just know they're thinking, Mom, you want to take another picture? I want to watch the balloons.
Well, I'm going to have to send you a picture because I got one just like that, but I was about that age.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll
have to share that.
I'll have
one,
to dig
so.
that up.
And then out on the deck.
Nice.
Looking at, waiting for the glow. Waiting for the glow to happen, watching Balloon Fiesta live.
They could maybe even sell some tickets from that deck. I know they're across the river.
Yeah,
They're kind of far away.
Yeah, they could. And then this sister Ellen spots brother Tim on the crown line.
Nice.
So, which was kind of a fun one, to be watching there. Hey, that's my brother. That's my brother. So, and this guy's been watching forever as well, and he was hoping that we would get his picture on, and then there's someone else is sitting there in their bare feet watching. So
with a glass of
with
wine.
a glass of wine.
Hey, again, 5 o'clock somewhere.
And is that a balloon puzzle that he has on the table? Maybe
I can't tell.
can't tell. A lot of great balloon puzzles. In fact, we've got 4 or 5 different balloon puzzles in the merchandise shop.
Yes, we do.
At balloonfiestastuff.com. So you can always relive those. We take some of our official photographers that sometimes will have such a stunning picture that will turn that into a puzzle. Always great stuff. And the last one here this is the one I was telling you about from over in the UK, where the nighttime shows begin at 1 a.m. And so they were ready for the balloon glow to get started last night.
I'm sure they had their
In
cup
their
of
jammies.
tea ready to go and watch.
In their jammies,
There you
ready
go.
to watch. So, hey, thanks for sharing all those pictures and all the ones that we didn't get a chance to show as well. If you've got some great watch pictures of you watching, your animals watching, however you're watching Balloon Fiesta live, or if you're out here with us or around balloons, go ahead and share those. And heck, pilots that you're watching the replay of this, because I hope you're not watching us live while you're flying.
Please don't.
Although we've heard of that.
Yes.
Yes, take those pictures if you can, and then send them to us. Balloon Fiesta live at balloonfiesta.com.
Yeah, a lot of Balloon Fiestas.
A lot of Balloon Fiestas in there.
There's the straight-up ballooning team from Fort Worth, Texas. That's Matt Roberson.
That's the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
Yeah, the trailer down in the bottom. The balloons are the Rainbow Riders balloons.
And here's a Rainbow Rider. This is a pilot giving his passengers a brief, it looks like.
Look at the size of the basket there. Now you can see the 4 burners. Most of our balloons have 2. Some only have 1. The big balloons have multiples to get more heat in there. But yeah, there's the flight briefing, the 4 burners, and actually even the heat panels. That's what that kind of beige color is off to the
There
side.
you go.
There you go. Perfect shot of it. Thank you. So yeah, so there's one with only 3 burners.
Right.
And those panels are to keep the heat from coming down on their passengers' heads. Most of us sport balloonists don't have that. The basket isn't really big enough.
And you're not putting as much heat
All of
into
that
a
together.
normal sport balloon as you would a ride operation.
But yeah, laying on the side, you see how much that is. Here's the Xfinity balloon. Boy, we're getting great shots of it because it is not that light out here yet.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so our cameras are really picking up great stuff. Xfinity Rewards. Xfinity, the sponsor of our navigators. They're the volunteers here at Balloon Fiesta, about 1,200 of them working for us for just a little bit of swag. And of course, the joy of ballooning and other being able to interact with folks and spectators. That's actually right off the stage because so I wonder if Xfinity, that would make sense. Xfinity was the white we saw earlier. They're going to be the balloon of the day.
Correct.
Of course, because also today is the Navigator thank you party. So
After flight operations.
Yeah,
yes.
when you think about all this, that makes sense that Xfinity would be the balloon of the day. John Green and his Intrepid balloon team, that's his balloon laid out with his trailer.
And all of these pilots that are on the field now are non-competition pilots. They've elected just to fun fly the Fiesta. That's what they like doing. And so our competitors will be going off the field here after we clear this, what we like to call, well, I like to call it the mini Maes Ascension. Again, anywhere else in the country would probably be a regular event. But there we see
major event
major
anywhere
event,
else.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to catch up and see what was happening online over here since we've been
we're
talking.
trying to get a nice tight shot of Rick Jones there. And we
there's-
do have the green flag up and ready
Yep.
to roll, so that's great news.
So good morning to Baltimore, Maryland. Arlene, good to see you online again this morning. Appreciate that. Hey, Rebecca's checking in from the Netherlands. Mike's calling in from Appleton.
There's Rick Jones right there.
There you go.
How great of a shot is that?
Yeah.
And he's up over our shoulder here. That's coming from the north camera, so it's being shot across the entire field.
Yeah. I'm looking up, I see Tim Taylor just kind of hanging there. Chick-fil-A's moving a little bit to the west. There's a couple farther out over the river. They're still high.
Yeah, you'll see from this pan out exactly
As
how
they
far
get
he
to
is.
that.
There's Tim in the top left-hand corner.
Yep.
And that's being shot again all the way on the north end of the field to the south end of the field, because they're basically behind us and over our left shoulders.
Those are those new big lenses we've put on a couple of our cameras. So we've, thanks to Gary Williams and the Windfire production team, not only increased the number of camera views that we have for you, we've enhanced a few of the ones that we've had for a while. So it's going to make our coverage even better, thanks to the Windfire production guys.
Gary's like the mad scientist of Balloon Fiesta Live. I showed up yesterday to show my uncle around the truck, and he was in there throwing stuff around. No, go on the other side and check it all out. So he's the grease that makes the wheel turn in that truck, and as well as Steven and the rest of the group in there.
and the brains behind it. Yeah.
Here's some more passengers coming out for
They're
checking off their bucket list.
Yep. Rainbow Riders has the ability to put 350 passengers in the air per day. Rainbow Riders are official concessionaire. They bring all of their balloons and still need to subcontract.
The pilot getting out of the basket there is Scott Vesley, so he elected not to do dawn patrol today. You can see him right there. He just jumped out. The young man taking a drink. There's Scott. So obviously he's flying for fun today, it looks like.
Yep, now that you pulled out, I also recognize the trailer with his So Grateful balloon. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the middle one is, but then there's Mr. Biddle, which I know that he has had some interest in flying. I'm not sure if he owns it or I think there's a group of them that own Mr. Biddle that now lives in Texas. So we're just continuing to tick off the minutes to 7 o'clock in our national anthem and get our ascension out of the way here off the ground as it is. And once we clear the field, we'll be starting up our competition. So as you mentioned, all those competing pilots have already left the field.
Probably.
They listened to the pilot briefing, they looked at those, they pulled out their own weather deals, they put out their maps, and they said, okay, if I launch from here, I'm going to be able to take this wind at this altitude and this speed to get me back to the field to throw my marker on the X.
Yes.
Whatever that X may be today.
And they may not be going to a designated launch site just yet, because a lot of them will want to wait and see exactly what happens once the sun crests the Sandia Mountains. I will tell you, years ago when I was competing, I was always watching the ones who knew how to get to the field. So
yes.
I would always follow Ray Bear because, he lived here and he could find a path to Fiesta Field in the dark. So we would go and kind of lag behind him and find our way into the field. So it was always not really a challenge for me as much as many other people.
And others will maybe not be so stealthy and secretive like you are. They'll just go up in and say, hey, Ray, where are you going to fly from today?
I don't think we were hanging out like that, but I'm just saying.
So, and even our pilot, J.B. Aiken, is going to fly the balloon camera for us today. He's flying competition. So he said that he was going to gather up, and he's actually from here, but they were going to gather up at this one launch site with 3 or 4 other pilots, and they were going to kind of plot their strategy, starting as they were walking back to the launch site from pilots briefing.
There's a good shot of our balloon of the day, and that's being piloted by Jacob Little from Glendale, Arizona. He's flying the Xfinity balloon.
I'm looking to see if Henry has sent me the details. Looks like not yet.
Shalona has found her way in the Chick-fil-A balloon back over the field. She's north, nearly over, it looks like the propane area. And I think from that wide shot right there, I think that's Matthew Grody and his mom and dad right to the right of the pylon there.
Little tiny dot?
That little tiny dot.
Those pylons are 75 feet tall, and that is a visual indicator to both the pilots and our officials on the ground of the altitude balloon pilots need to have their balloon when they come in over the field. So as they're coming in over the parking lots that we looked at earlier, they need to be at that altitude. Then once they get over the field and the target area, they can drop down all the way to the surface inside the actual competition area. However, if you touch the ground, there is some level of penalty for doing that. And penalty being that they would either add distance to your throw, because that's what the competition really is. It's who's the closest to the zero measuring point, and that moves. Who's the closest to that point, and so they'll either add distance to that, or take points off.
Correct. And let me tell you, these
or
competition
add points, I guess,
yes,
would be the case.
Yeah, the competition pilots are really into it because they're always waiting around right there at the briefing tower to see who, what, where, and when. So once the scoring team gets all of their data, they go and they post it over at the in the SID as well as over at the briefing tower on the west side of the field.
There is also actually a Facebook page. I can never remember the
well, yes, there is. You're correct.
Link of it. It's AIBF results or something, or AIBF pilots. So we're starting to see those ride balloons start to stand up.
I'm trying to see whose team that is. That kind of looks like it could be the straight up team, because they have a balloon that looks similar to that, but that's kind of a stock balloon as well.
Yeah.
That's the black balloon with the teardrops coming down.
Yeah, they made them with the teardrops coming down. They made them with the teardrops going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the New Mexico Lobos balloon, cherry on top.
In the shot before, I did see the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon in the backside of that as well.
That's right there in that shot there on the far left. You can kind of see the logo right between the Xfinity balloon.
Start to see how big these balloons are.
Yes.
It all kind of packed in there. Of course, we're also starting to inflate here on the south end. So we're going to get the ascension part of today up and running quickly, I believe.
And they will come right over our heads. And probably, by all indications of what I'm seeing, they're going to box back. Although Shalona, from our view, in the Chick-fil-A balloon, notice she's lower and she's coming south now. So those winds are starting to mix down, as we talked about the sun cresting the Sandia Mountains. Yeah, not as fast. I think that's Peanuts Forever, and he's pretty far. Oh, he's right over our left shoulder. That's got to be coming from, I think, the north camera as well. Yeah, look at that shot. There's Matthew Grody with the Irish flag and the American flag.
But he's in the balloon.
He's in the balloon with his mom and dad, yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting a heck of a ride today, right?
They are. They are.
Look at that shot. Fire, flags, balloon.
People, trucks. 588, that's Matthew's banner number.
Yep, there they are.
Wave, Mom.
Good looking balloon.
We've been giving Matt a hard time because we ask for pictures of the balloon so that we can make trading cards. That's actually a very new balloon, and so you have to inflate it to be able to get that kind of picture. And Matt said, well, I don't have any good pictures of it. I don't have any good pictures. And so he said we would get them this year, but I've been giving him a hard time about that. We've got great pictures of your balloon now, Matt.
Yep. Just about 3 minutes away from the balloon of the day and our national anthem, carried out by the Xfinity balloon. And then we will start operations here at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the 53rd edition. I'm Ted Maes, along with
Art Lloyd Jr. You're number 10 for me as an announcer. Hard to believe. Hard to believe.
It seems like the years just flow right by. They just,
yeah.
Seems like I was standing in the middle of the fairgrounds just the other day.
You got me beat on that one. I didn't come to town until 1976, but it didn't take long to find a way to get involved with Balloon Fiesta.
Well, my father, he was HR manager for the aircraft engine, the GE aircraft.
There's the
engine
Indian Pueblo Cultural Center standing up.
And I just recently was going through a box, obviously moved. It's been, actually, can you believe it's been 4 years since I moved from here, but I finally got to one of my last boxes to go through. And I found, I think I sent it to you, these launch tickets that General Electric sponsored a balloon out here, and my dad, being the HR guy, was in charge of coordinating all of the people from the plants to go out and take rides. And it was just really funny to see where we were at and how far we've come. It's kind of like that story that Tommy Rutherford had with Sid, where he went out there and to Coronado Center, and they were expecting a few hundred people, and they showed up, and
20,000.
Yeah, he just kind of went, okay, he threw his hands in the air, let's just do this. So it's
Tommy had some passes he was going to hand out to let people get up to close to. He said when we drove up, it's like,
just he just threw him in the back seat, says done. There's our drone shot. That's phenomenal.
All right. Henry Rosenbaum has now sent me what Monday's competition is going to be.
So please do tell.
Well, I got to get it downloaded first.
There's Al Nell's
Beautiful World.
A beautiful balloon.
And one of the manufacturer tents, Ultra Magic.
Yes. All the manufacturers are there on the southeasterly side of the field behind the Sid Cutter Pavilion. So if you're out at Fiesta Field and you'd like to go see what a new balloon would cost you, or you'd like to design a balloon, I know that many of the manufacturers have their stuff out here. So we're going to send it for today's national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
There's your national anthem, and we are underway at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, competition day number 1. But first, we're going to have a mini mass ascension off Fiesta Field.
Of just 300 balloons or so.
Yeah.
All righties, yep.
Again, that was Jacob Little in the Xfinity balloon from Glendale, Arizona. And you got word from Henry exactly what we're doing competition-wise today.
I did. I pulled up the task. So as expected, Monday, traditional that we do the Sid Cutter Memorial task. So we're going to put a little boat out there in the center of the field, and there's going to be an X right off the bow of that boat. And the X, the center of the X is the 0 point, and the closest point that gets you a score is the bow of the boat.
Okay.
So the best score is going to be somewhere around 6 or 8 feet. If you're in the boat or on the boat, you're going to get that score. If your marker falls outside of the boat, think of it as being in the water. So they'll measure it to whatever distance it is and add 300 feet.
Okay.
It's because they have to retrieve it out of the water.
Right.
Now, they're also going to put some fabric out there. They're going to outline some areas. So a couple of islands that you could hit, and you'll get scored to that.
So some beachfront property.
Beachfront.
Okay.
Well, there's a whole landmass, which
Right.
would be more your beachfront in addition to the islands. So there's 3 sections of land that you can hit in addition to the boat. Now, those are obviously much farther away than the boat, so your distance is going to be out there. But if you get in the land, you get your actual distance. Get in the boat, you get your actual distance. Go in the water, it's your distance plus 300 feet.
Gotcha.
Okay? Now, just to mix it up some more, we're going to do a task called a hesitation waltz, or a Hez waltz, some people will abbreviate it as. There will be 4 X's out there, and they kind of outline a square around where the boat is. So if you're off to the left, you're off to the right, something like that, you're going to be able to aim your marker at one of those X's. Now, you can only throw on one of those. It's 2 tasks. You throw on the SID cutter. In fact, you need to throw your red marker on the SID cutter.
I was going to ask which color you had to throw.
Red goes on that. You can throw any color other than red or orange on the hesitation waltz X's.
Right.
And those would be measured to the center of the X. There's none of that extra penalty stuff for being too far out of the area, etc. So you're going to come out, you're going to come in, you're going to try and throw a red marker on the boat, and you're going to try and throw any other color on one of the X's. 2 different tasks, 2 different sets of scores today.
Gotcha.
I didn't see in there whether they were going to set the truck up. Now, last year,
Yes.
we actually put an old-time truck out there.
From Cutter Aviation.
From Cutter Aviation. It's a little farther away from the X than the boat is, but still closer than the islands or the landmass.
So once you get down there, you'll be able to let us know if there's going to be
Once
a
we
truck.
get down there, we'll see if the truck has been set up and how all of that comes together.
There's some riders checking off their bucket list with Rainbow Riders out here.
We saw those big baskets laying on the side earlier. And that one looks like one of those, is it 3 or 4 burners? Can't quite tell. And then,
It looks like it's 4.
and then, yeah, looks like 618, 615.
Yeah, that is Juan Garcia Patrol he's from Canada. So again, Rainbow Riders has their own operations here within the United States in 4 locations. But for Balloon Fiesta, they will sub out ride company operations from all over the United States and as well as Canada. And last year I had a friend of mine's son, he and his better half came down here from Toronto. I was going to have them fly with Brad Rice, a local pilot, because they had booked a flight with Rainbow Riders. Well, when they got there, the message or the memo got lost somewhere. But ironically, they flew with a pilot from their hometown of Mississauga, Ontario.
Wow.
So it just kind of all worked out. So
nice.
Jim Wader and family were extremely excited once they got back up there to the Great White North. Some more shots of the ride balloons getting ready to go.
There's a few of them up and away. The University of New Mexico UNM Lobo balloon is in the air while we look at the New Mexico State balloon on the feed.
We ought to play fair, right? We have 2 major universities in the state, so they each get their own balloon.
Yep.
That's that's actually Tommy McConnell, the son of Doc McConnell.
And we saw the zebra come running out away from the balloon because he's going to get out far enough to be able to see if there is any other balloon traffic. Because remember, we're launching from the middle of the field and the south end of the field at the same time. So we want to make sure that those coming from the middle are not right over the top. And lots of whistles we hear as we get 2 balloons right off row A.
I see Earl Buzzard back behind the balloon that's rising right there, and I'm trying to get a banner number here, 411.
I should know that balloon.
That's Tom Steinbach from Crestwood, Kentucky.
Good morning, Tom. Tom over the head. The other Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, we're being split by Toms.
That's Earl Buzzard right there from Buzzard's Roost. If we can get him to wave. There he is. Hey, Earl.
Oh, we just panned up off the basket into the envelope.
Right in front of us, getting ready to launch, is Mr. Tristan McLean in the ExxonMobil balloon. And we got, well, they're too young to be skipping school, so they're just still home with mom and dad.
They're just out here. Great.
But
time.
I used to skip school all the time for Balloon Fiesta. That's probably why I was just a B student, not an A student.
We know of a number of classrooms that like to turn Balloon Fiesta live on in class. So you don't have to
there's
skip.
Another good one. If the teachers are out there and they're showing Balloon Fiesta live,
Yeah, in your class.
Take a picture and send it to us.
Yeah, let's see your class.
Again, send those photos, whether you're on the field, you're at home, you're having a watch party, to Balloon Fiesta at balloonfiestalive.com. There's another shot of
Balloon Fiesta Live at balloonfiesta.com.
Okay, gotcha. Again, back and forth.
Yeah. You know, when we actually named Balloon Fiesta Live, we went through a lot of different naming conventions and kind of called it different things, at least internally, before we ever went live, and played with a lot of different things. And settled on Balloon Fiesta Live because it's very descriptive and you know exactly what's going on. But it does kind of, when you start putting Balloon Fiesta Live with Balloon Fiesta, there gets a lot of Balloon Fiesta in there. Look at that shot. Look at the great
Look at
deal.
all, they're taking selfies right there to the left.
Taking selfies. We saw the 3 burners. We saw the heat shield up there that we saw laying down before.
And there they go right there.
And there, yep, and there they are. And McKenna Secret's taking Intel right over the top of us. Intel, longtime sponsor here at Balloon Fiesta. A new balloon, basically, for them, the blue one. They used to have a kind of a white one that had the primary color designs on it.
Here's a balloon setting, ready to go.
Which I think actually still flies just without the Intel banner on it anymore. Yeah, count the people. There's room for one more.
They're still boarding. I wonder if that was Group C.
Hey, everybody's got an A seat in a
you're right.
Yeah. It was Group 38, but it was 38 is all on one balloon. So there's the KKOB balloon. There's the whole row. Hey, look who's setting up, Arabelle.
Yes. We saw her fly
on the right side. Yeah.
Again, it's always a great day at the Albuquerque National Balloon Fiesta when
Arabelle flies.
That or Smokey. Any of the special shapes, actually. Because, you know, the wind does some wonky things to those special shapes different than a round balloon.
They do.
Yeah, especially I was talking to someone over in one of the tents about, you didn't like the balloon as your favorite, but I think the little hammerhead shark was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he did confirm that, yes, those little fins do play a role in how it turns and when it turns. And you don't have control over the turn.
So the Visit Albuquerque balloon, we're seeing the red side, of course, the official state question in New Mexico, red or green, meaning what color, what flavor chili would you like? Kind of a, yeah.
And if you want both, it's
Christmas.
There you go.
Red and green. So that was the red side. Rainbow Riders flies that for the Visit Albuquerque, which is the tourism department. And so they fly that year round. It becomes a ride balloon for them, but Visit Albuquerque flies. They actually flew it last month in Colorado Springs for the Labor Day lift.
Yeah, I did see some photographs of that.
That's actually kind of a fairly recent addition to the Rainbow Riders. They were doing balloon rides, and they put up their Rainbow Riders balloons, which we've seen a lot of. But they've kind of branched out now that they will fly a corporate balloon. We talked about Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, Visit Albuquerque, Pinnacle Propane. They've got a number of those that they do.
There's Mr. Paul Smith.
Paul Smith, former executive director, now retired of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Are we sure?
Well, he's actually still on some level of contracts as a consultant.
There you go.
After 26 years of being the executive director, that institutional knowledge that Paul brings is just incredible. So we were fortunate enough to have him stick around and to be able to continue to provide that level of expertise to our new folks.
There's Mr. Tristan McLean.
Yep. Waving his hat. Good morning, Tristan.
Good morning.
And even, yeah, Tristan's going one direction, Paul's going another, and they're only about 50 feet different in altitude.
Right. And right above them to the right, you can see cherry on top, the UNM balloon.
Going back
coming
to
back.
the, yeah. So is Xfinity, just a little bit farther to the south. So they don't have to go very high to start coming back over the field. And as Ted has mentioned a couple of times, when they do come back over the field, they're required to be at least 500 feet over the field, but they need to be that high just to get back to the north.
Yes.
They're lower than 500 feet off the field. They're going to keep going south. I did see we were talking about that commercial program, the corporate. One of the new ones that Rainbow Riders has picked up is the Centennial balloon. It's just that little white one, kind of almost in the top center.
Yep.
And that represents the beginning of the celebration, which actually starts today, the 100th anniversary of Route 66. It's actually next year. We've got a year-long celebration going to be taking place in our area, and there's a Centennial balloon to mark that occasion. You'll be seeing that around lots of times.
I was not around for the beginning of that.
You sure?
Positive.
I wasn't either. And you know what fascinates me is the fact that there seems to be like there's a whole lot of Route 66s. So it kind of must have really, if it really was one route, it really kind of wove around all kinds of different directions. Arabelle almost awake.
Yes, you may need that second cup of coffee. Or some more hot air. There we go. All right, right on cue. Yeah, what most people don't realize is with these shapes, a lot of times just during inflation, you will go through what they call an inflation tank.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get enough hot air.
Upwards of like 10 gallons of propane.
Yeah, 10 gallons of liquid propane.
And if you think about that, that's twice the size of the tank you have on your barbecue grill at home.
That's just to get the balloon up, and that doesn't even count for it to sit there and stand during a glow or actually flight.
Right, yeah, that just gets it inflated. The other thing I always tell people when we'll talk.
There's the red side.
Yeah, there's the red side coming right at us.
Let's see.
And you can start to see the green. We're starting to see the green around the left. We were talking about, so if you kind of look at Arabelle, if you kind of look the body, it's really kind of a regular shaped balloon. And all those legs and the horns and the ears and the tail, those are basically kind of filled with cold air. Now, once the hot air keeps going, it starts to fill in and cool. But when Arabelle always first gets up, those legs are just kind of like floppy.
Well, they have those. There's the green side right there.
There's the green
side.
side.
And there it is, red and green.
There you go.
Yeah, those balloons have a baffling system in them that allow the air to flow through it to get to those appendages that go out. So,
which also means that now you have to have an additional deflation port for that panel when you actually bring it down.
Yeah, years ago I flew one of the Monaghan's, that Simba balloon, the lion head. That thing, on each of the hairs that came off of the mane, every single one of them had a deflation port. So you had to make sure they were all sealed before you
go, and then unseal them to get it deflated. Yeah.
Just to deflate that thing is about an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
More of a fan of sport.
There you go. I helped crew on Chesty the Bulldog many years ago. It didn't have too many extra deflation ports. And the two special shapes I got to fly. One was Mataruska, the Russian doll, and it was more like a cone. So there wasn't any additional deflation ports on it. And the other one was the Stork in its first incarnation. There were just a few on that one as well. See Cynthia Seal peeking around the back.
Dave Melton here to the right.
The purple?
The Air Rocky top. That's Mark Yoakum. You just see the green
you just
in the
see
top
the piece
right-hand
there,
corner there.
and the purple is Dave.
Yep. Mark had told us that he had the privilege this year of flying his 84-year-old father, so that's a pretty cool thing.
Mark has also started posting a lot more videos.
He's gotten very aggressive and
with
some
posting.
really nice videos with producing them and editing them. A lot of fun to wake up. I wake up every morning and I'll see 20, 30, 40 feeds, especially mostly balloon stuff. Even during non-balloon Fiesta time, it's a lot of fun to see the creativity of many of these balloons. Not only are they creative in how they build their balloon or put it together or have it manufactured, they're very creative with their chase crews. I know that Tristan and the Enchanted Diamond, or Enchanted Horizons team, they have a social media person, and they just did a great one the other day where they were all waking up and coming to Albuquerque from different parts of the country. A lot of fun.
So Joe Stratton says, my kids are begging me to take them to Fiesta. We were watching the glow last night. They love the balloons. Well, Joe, you just need to give in on that one.
That's right. You just need to come to Albuquerque.
Just come on, bring them down. We'd love to have them out here. Balloon Fiesta always starts on the first Saturday of October, so you can plan on it. You can look as far ahead in the calendars as you like. Look for the first Saturday in October. That's when Balloon Fiesta starts.
We're like little kids here on the set.
Still playing with selfie pictures.
Yes. Well, I got to send them in for somebody.
You do. You better get them sent in.
There's Jeff Ashworth there on the left side. There's the seal.
Look at the balloons as the part in the eyes.
Yes.
Creativity, especially when you can get up and close. I mean, it's one thing to see the special shape from afar, but when you can see the details like this, it really makes them special. Pat Rolfe flies Cynthia Seal for us.
Well, as I was saying right before the national anthem, you can go down to the manufacturers, and a lot of them have little books that they can get you, or you can go online to their website and design your own balloon. So even if you're not going to buy a balloon, it's awfully fun sometimes just go in there and like build the balloon, like build a bear.
When I win the lottery, I'll build this balloon.
In the meantime, you can continue to make designs or do whatever. I ran across, again, in one of those boxes I was unpacking, an old Raven RX-6 design that I made when I was 10 years old.
Yeah?
Never made the balloon, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, think about this. You know, you're starting to think about color theory. How would you match that up when you start doing something other than, well, we can hear the cheer. Cynthia Seal just took off. So, yeah, balloons there. But the different educational processes here, thinking about color matching, playing with different colors, you start getting into graphic design. You can move all the way into engineering, all that baffling that you've talked about on the special shapes. And of course, then you can even get into the, why does this balloon even fly? What makes these things that weigh a few hundred pounds, how can they be lighter than air?
Right. Again, that's one of the things I love going to schools and talking to kids and inspiring them, because again, that's what started for me, right in the elementary levels and then into middle school and then high school. And there's a lot to learn. So it's not just coming out and putting fire to fabric.
Right.
It's learning all the different portions of what you need to do to become a pilot of a higher.
Right overhead, Cynthia Seal. These are my pictures when they're directly over and I can look right up their skirt. Did I just say that on the air?
You did. Nope.
Oh, did you miss it?
That's okay.
I was talking about those corporate entities. Here's yet another one, UMB, being operated by Rainbow Riders for us. That's Andrew. Yeah, Andrew Brindley is flying UMB. Colorado balloons, one over to the right. Yeah, look at the sky, and now the sun's starting to hit those that are a little higher in altitude, and you can see the difference in the colors, how the colors just pop once the sun hits them.
Yeah. And again, once that sun comes over and crests the mountain and starts to hit Fiesta Field, the conditions here will change ever so slightly, and that will be, you know, some of the competition crews will leave someone out here on the field.
Yes.
And they will radio back and forth to them because they have to go off 1 nautical mile from the center of the field to be able to launch to get back into Fiesta Field. So this is not a game for just the amateurs. You got a lot of serious competitors that come out here because at the end of the week we're going to write some checks.
Yeah, some big checks. Some big checks. But you know what? It's fun. You know, yes, there are those serious competitors, but it's always just fun to go out and compete. And then you have those stories about, I was this close. I had the line until, and all the stories.
Until Ken came or
whoever
or
hit
Billy
me.
came and bumped me out of the way.
Yeah, my story is Ray Bear and I doing a little balloon envelope to balloon envelope kiss, splitting the pole, and neither one of us got the keys to the new car.
Well, I remember years ago I was in the basket when we were able to launch from the north end out of the Sandy Reservation.
Right.
We came in. It was one of those days like yesterday morning where you just had about 100 balloons all kissing each other as they came in. And it was the year that we were coming right to the pole with the keys. And Pat Chondo, who's now part of the safety team, came and just butted his way in and won the car. And we just kind of sat there like, dude, you took our car from us.
Yeah,
his
wife still drives it.
Yeah. We got car-jacked by Pat Chondo in a balloon.
His wife.
There's their Rocky Top and Mr. Yoakum.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of a little kiss,
There it is.
there it is. Boy, they did that for us right there.
It's amazing. It's just like we planned it.
Oh.
You know, if we could only script this, we couldn't do a better scripting job. We
No.
just could not do a better job of scripting it.
It's almost scary.
It is. It is. Between the production guys reading our mind and being able to kind of predict what's going to happen.
Yeah. Cloud Hopper, he's telling people, look at that shot.
Yeah.
That's great.
The only thing people tell me that they don't like about flying a chair is that they're kind of by themselves. You know,
Sometimes
sometimes
it's not a
that's
bad
not a
thing.
bad. That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
I've flown by
Look at
myself.
that! Look at how far off the ground he is.
Yeah.
He's just kind of. I'm sure they would prefer that he
Climbed and cleared.
Climb and clear the field.
There's Mr. Eric
I was
Hodge.
going to say, is that Eric?
Yep.
The black and white.
That's Samore. There's Tiger.
Someone was just asking about where's the Tiger balloon. Well, there it is. You asked, we delivered.
Once again, here on Balloon Fiesta Live.
Former New Mexico resident of Gallup, now living in Nashville. Hi, Mike. Thanks for checking in. Joe says he's going to bring his kids.
All right, Joe. Well, when you bring your kids next year or even this year, come on up and see us in the rooftop studio.
Yeah.
Another one of those big ride
And then the conversation about, do you fly a single chair, the Cloud Hopper, or do you fly the Chariot with two people?
Well, I think if you're going to do it, you got to go by yourself. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. Haven't actually flown a Cloud Hopper, a single hopper. I've flown the Chariot with the two seats. Well, here's the reason to have two seats. You're flying and your passenger can take your picture.
Well, you could do a selfie.
Well, but you're supposed to be flying the balloon.
Well, I think it was I saw a video. Was it Marissa Myers up there in Farmington, and she landed right at the Farmington airport? A nice rip-out landing. I mean, she came down quick.
Yeah.
But she had a camera mount. We'd have to ask her how she does this.
Yeah.
And I think it's remote controlled, and it was a pretty amazing video.
She runs an operation out of Pagosa Springs. She's also the pilot coordinator for the Red Rock Balloon Rally, which takes place the first weekend in December in Gallup, New Mexico. We fly in Red Rock State Park out there. That's another great rally. And it has about 115, 120 balloons usually. He's still hanging around.
No, that's
the other one. That's the other one. No,
yeah.
yeah. As soon as I said, oh, yeah, there he goes. He's having fun with the crowd.
There's Sir Mix-a-Lot. Speaking of Gallup, New Mexico, again, Mr. Bill
There
Lee
you
in
go.
the True Lee, New Mexico balloon.
Well, and someone was asking, can we see more of the New Mexico True Balloon?
And there's big Fred McAllister again. So I'm going to have to...
PH Fred.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give Lachelle, his balloon partner, some Hades about not getting in the air today.
Yeah.
I thought today was her turn.
A lot of times couples like that will. It's your day today, my day tomorrow, back and forth. But 2 days in a row for Fred.
He's 2 for 2.
Now we're starting to see a little bit more of that New Mexico True Balloon with the...
Sugar Skulls.
Yep. Name of the balloon is True Lee. The pilot's name is Bill Lee. You've got even more stuff about the whole history of the names.
Yeah.
Here comes Smokey right over the top with Beth Wright Smith at the burner.
Yes.
And vent lines, because those are the controls we have as a balloon pilot.
You know, when I did that thing over at Joe Harris, you noticed she had a hold of that red line the whole entire time when she was sitting on the ground.
Yep.
Just in case you need to make a quick deflation or a descent.
And Vampirilla.
Yeah, getting back to Bill Lee, all their other balloons have utilized their last name. So they had Extremely Fun, Early Riser, Highly Likely. Get it? Highly Likely.
Yep.
So they like incorporating the back to the name. But
Bill is usually the balloon meister in Red Rock. He also puts, so he's controlling the flight operations there. He puts a couple of rallies on in Angel Fire and other places as well. By the way, we saw Vampirilla a few minutes ago. Sidney Severin is the pilot of that. Look at the sky.
Yeah.
The sun is just at the very tops of the balloons that are standing up here on the field. That's it's a zoo, no?
I believe so.
Master Yoda is airborne.
Yeah, that's Kendra Garcia from Albuquerque, New Mexico. She's got Clark Harble and James Allison as secondary pilots. Clark's from Charlotte, North Carolina, and James is from Socorro, New Mexico.
We could go ahead and give a shout since we have Master Yoda in the air. Darth Vader does not fly anymore. The fabric is just been wearing out, and it's not really safe to be flying that. But they're running a fundraiser to pick up enough money to be able to rebuild Darth Vader. So yeah, there's
looks like Yoda's like sticking its ear into Smokey's ear.
Yep. And now Bill Lee does have True Lee standing up. Dos Equis behind there.
Frankie Martinez to the right in Rax and Rod Baca.
And the Farmer's balloon, the red, white, blue one.
You know, it's funny.
Kirsten Wiener, the one in the just kind of in the back, with the little white and the hearts back there. That's either Chuck or Kirsten. There you go. 377.
Marissa Verb from Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was over at the
sun just hit the field.
Yes, it did.
The sun just hit the field.
I was over at the pin trading yesterday with
Ty
Young, who's on the board. And there was a gentleman over there that had a quite extensive collection of 70s and 80s balloon pins. And Ty and I were over there with a couple napkins because we were drooling all over the cases. And there was a pin that was inside of one of the cases that was flipped over. So you couldn't see the face of it, but you could see the back of it. And I said to Ty, I know which pen that is. And he goes, I know too. That's an old Stroh's balloon pen. I said, no, it's not. That's an old World Balloon Corporation pen. So the guy let us open the case. I won.
All right.
And that's when Ty said, you know you have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've seen the two preventive pest control balloons go by. First one overhead was the new regular shape. Coming over now is Itsy Bitsy, which has the 3D Black Widow spiders on the side. You can see them right there.
Yes.
So Brian Victor, I believe he's still the owner of the company Preventive Pest Control. He's flying the shape balloon, the other one being flown by Don Boyer. Watch out for the spider.
And I believe that one next to it is Florida Tucson, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
No, on the left,
no, actually it could be. Yeah, good. The shadows were confusing me a little. Look at that spider.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when they were building that balloon, I believe that's an Adams balloon, correct?
Yes.
They brought it out here for a test inflation, and it was really incredible to see those things for the first time.
Yeah. The KKOB balloon, airborne. KKOB balloon. It was their 50th birthday party that Sid Cutter brought 13 balloons out for at Coronado Center.
That's Ron Curry. Ron's been in Fiesta since 1979. This is his 44th year.
And I want to say that's the third KKOB balloon, if I remember right. Might even be the fourth.
Chris Braden in the Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yep, the Duke City. Another one of those corporate deals. Okay, you as your company get this balloon, and then you work with Rainbow Riders to actually fly it for you. So we see that balloon flying around town a lot, as with Remax and a whole lot of those.
Maes Real Estate, I believe, is another one that flies quite regularly around Albuquerque.
They do?
Silver balloon, red lettering on it.
I don't believe that one's run by Rainbow Riders, but yes, it's still out there.
Yep. There's Tiger.
Okay, so it's going to be a short window for competition today. They're planning on opening competition at 8, and they're going to close it at 9. Typically, we'll leave it open until 9:30. We're going to close competition at 9 o'clock this morning. So there's going to be an hour window for those guys to get their balloons. They can get them standing up. They can't really, the target area will open at 8. So, of course, we have a lot of folks down in the field in what will be the target area.
There's Dr. Seth Hunter from Avon, Indiana, which is right like the Bernalillo of Indianapolis.
And the picture of the field that we showed you earlier this morning, that's who sent us that picture.
Yes. Flying Odeon, which that balloon is owned by
Tristan Garcia.
Yeah.
One of our official photographers this year. Next year, he says he's going to be flying his own balloon.
Well, he's got to start flying and get some hours in.
Yep. He just picked up his pilot certificate in the last month or so.
But he's been around balloons quite a long time. I think since birth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty close, if not. I see the Into the Mountain Gods balloon. We saw that in the background of one of our viewer pictures. Got the turning vent going, so we see the logo from as we're looking at it. And then the Kachina Indian figures around the side. Macaw balloons, red and blue, a couple of our special shapes. Remember, we feature special shapes on Thursday and Friday. We'll stand them all up here as while competition goes on as well, and then they get their own very special Glodio Thursday and Friday night, always very popular nights.
Yep. That's Chris Liberti in pole dancer, and he's from Castle Rock, Colorado. This is his 31st balloon fiesta, and Chris is a little kid, and his brother and his cousins. You probably remember this. Their parents would sell sand paintings out here at Fiesta, and they've been around Fiesta that long. And right behind him to the right.
Did you mention Mike?
Yeah, Mike Bertetto in Nerfer. And everyone asks, well, where did you get that name from?
Yeah,
no, not from the Nerf football. It's a nickname he calls his daughter Jennifer. I actually flew with Mike when he was a first-year pilot here. They needed a mentor.
Right.
And did a fantastic job on his first flight. I said, what am I doing flying with you? But those were the rules, and that's what we did.
That's what happens when you have those low hours. We just want to make sure that you have a safety net.
Yep.
That's all it's about. We're pretty sure you can fly. We're just going to give you a safety net just in case, because it is much more difficult to fly with 500 people flying around you than when there's only a few people, and when you have much tighter landing sites than when you have the more open area. It's a great shot of the head of the red macaw. One of our other new special shapes, Splash Duck.
Splash Duck. Whack. There's your
Hey, one of my favorites.
baby T-Rex.
Baby T-Rex. You got a picture of, somebody sent you a picture, I think, of baby T-Rex looking right at the camera.
Yes.
Yesterday.
It's great. That's Rex Jennings from Vernal, Utah.
Starting to pull my stuff together so that I can head down to the field.
There he is, Hammerhead.
Oh, the Hammerhead.
I like that. I like that point.
To each his own.
You will agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
Splash Duck looks like he's poking him in the eye. There's Gary Williams, I believe, in this balloon.
Gary Moore.
Oh, Gary Moore.
Gary Moore,
yes.
Time and Peace.
Yes. And that's Time and Peace 2000, I think, is what the new one is.
Is that what they're calling the new one? Because he just rebuilt that.
Yes.
And the balloon behind it.
There's Tall Steve and Puddles and...
Was Diamond Girl, Bill Dickey. Was flying the yellow one with the diamonds around it.
Right. Gary and his team do a fantastic job of just bringing this to life. Look how, that's Debbie Young right there. I recognize her. That's how great our cameras are.
Yeah.
I don't even have to see a banner. I know the pilot. Flown with Debbie in many rallies throughout the country. And she does a lot of international stuff as well. I think she was just recently in France. So Art's going to depart the rooftop studio. You will be stuck with me for the time being until he gets down to the scoring area where they haul in the boat for the Sid Cutter Memorial and the tasks of the day. You are watching the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the 53rd edition. This is competition day number 1, Monday, the 6th of October. And we're going to have a shorter competition, an hour window is what we were told. So we want to make sure we get down there and bring you all the action right from the side of the boat. I'm sure that Art will have Jewel Cutter by side along with Henry Rosenbaum and the rest of the team that's down there. So we're looking forward to all that great action coming from you. Oh, they already turned his mic off because he's got to run downstairs. So he's... Yes, please.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm just about to unplug and head on down there. We'll see. We've already talked about Jewel does not necessarily like to be on camera, but we'll get her maybe to say hi there. We'll be able to take you up close to the boat, show you exactly where those X's are, where they're going to be, and then we'll be down there with our cameras, and we'll attempt to, if not be able to truly identify the pilot, call you a banner number up. You can help do that.
Yes.
We'll describe how they're coming in. Should be an interesting competition, and we'll be able to see, because there's still these different angles here. There's going to be a lot of different maneuvering. We're going to try and keep an eye on it. About 250 of them are going to try and get to the boat today. So I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Ted Maes up here on the rooftop studio, and I'll be back with you from the middle of the competition shortly.
Be safe, my friend. There's Bill Lee again in Truly, New Mexico. Another great shot of the final stages of our, as I call it, mini Maes ascension. 300 balloons in the mini Maes ascension. There's Jim Williams from Katy, Texas, in his balloon handstand. I know Jim's wife, Lisa, fairly well. She is a former resident of where I live today, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here we go, Steelers. Jim loves coming to Albuquerque and flying. That's one of his highlights of the year. I always get departing photos when they leave their home in Katy to come up to Albuquerque. We just saw the Fractal balloon. Right there is Pirate Joe. Next to the Red Macaw. All from Brazil. And there is my newest favorite balloon, the Hammerhead. And as I was talking to Art earlier, with the way the wind goes, it's almost designed like a racer balloon, but with the fins that stick out, it's almost like a turning vent without having to utilize a turning vent. And I've flown a couple balloons like that before, special shapes where they have appendages coming out that the wind likes to play little games on you as you fly throughout the air. There's Mr. Tony Polito from Scottsdale, Arizona, originally from Albuquerque. He's flying the Lucky Few, the Rio Grande Down Syndrome network balloon. This has got to be Tony's at least 40th Balloon Fiesta as a pilot in command. There's Miss Debbie Ellis Oskelin, flying plumb fired up. This is her 23rd Balloon Fiesta, and she is currently on the first Monday purpleizing the skies of Albuquerque. There's Splash Duck, kind of waving at us today. So as Art had mentioned, we're going to have two parts of the competition today. There is going to be first the Sid Cutter Memorial, where the pilots will have to launch 1 nautical mile. There's Bruce Pivick from Wyoming, flying the Wyoming balloon. They will launch 1 nautical mile from the center of the field and make their way into Fiesta Field. They are able to throw 1 single marker into, or attempt to throw 1 single marker into the boat that's going to be in the scoring area. They must use a red marker only. So if you throw any other color than red, you will not be scored on that task. They will also have 4 X's that kind of surround that within the scoring area where you can throw any color but red or orange. So there are 2 tasks today, and they will start that momentarily once we clear the remainder of the fun flyers, as they say. Great shot of many special shapes. More to come in special shapes at the end of the week. We're going to have the special shape ascensions on Thursday and Friday, and the Glodios on Thursday and Friday evening, where they will be special shapes only at the only balloons at the Glodio. There's Hammerhead. And right to the left of Hammerhead there is my old balloon, actually, flown by Michael Gornflow. That's Airflow. Michael and I were partners in that balloon for many, many years, and he continues to fly. Has 2 young children now, and got a great photograph of him the other day with his daughter Brinley. And a great shot, a wide shot there, looking from the north to the south. One of our new cameras. Kind of see the 3-dimensionality of what the pilots are experiencing as they begin to box back around to the north from the south. We're about 15 minutes away from when the competition window will open up. So again, they're trying to clear as many of these fun flyers off the field as they can so they can complete the mini Maes ascension. There's Mrs. Zamora flying, I believe it's Pixie if I'm not mistaken. I know last year she flew in competition. And sometimes pilots decide from one year to the other whether they're going to fly in competition or they're not going to fly in competition. But it's strictly up to them of what they'd like to do. Some people like to take a year off, or others are straight competitors, and that's what they come to do at Fiesta. There's the Moo Crew. And the Martian. Rod May, one of the board members of Balloon Fiesta, actually has a globito of that balloon. And again, this evening, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66, they will have a globitos glow right along the city, the street in the city of Los Ranchos, New Mexico. So make sure that if you have time this evening, starting at 5 o'clock, I believe, down in the city of Los Ranchos, to celebrate not only the 100th anniversary of Route 66, but we will have a bunch of globitos out there for you, adding to the fun of the party of this week of Balloon Fiesta. There's little Frank, I believe. Frank boy. From my vantage point, I can see the safety team starting to clear people from the scoring area of the field so they can bring in the boat for the Sid Cutter Memorial, as well as lay out the fabric X's for the pilots that will be flying inbound. And that should start to get underway here in the next 10 minutes at the top of the hour. And as we got reports from Jennifer Garcia, the event director, they're going to have a small window for competition today, opening at 8 and closing at 9. Princess Nellie. Let's check in on some people that are watching us. We have people from throughout the whole country. Yeah, it is a perfect morning. Thank you, Mrs. Little. Beth Little checking in with us. We also have here, good morning from California, from Hilda Robles. Someone got really, they said good morning Tart. I think they meant good morning Art. So good morning, Dina Lee. Thank you for watching. I may have to start calling him Tart now instead of Art. So Caleb Hammond asked, what are they competing for? And what they're competing for, Caleb, is it's a point scoring system. They will start today, and the competitors will have competition today, tomorrow. We take a day off of competition on Wednesday, where we have the midweek mass ascension, where it's typically like a weekend mass ascension, where we will have the starting early in the morning, we'll have the Dawn Patrol followed by Krispy Kreme, and then a mass ascension with all balloons on Wednesday. And then they'll go back to competition Thursday, and Friday they will wrap it up. Throughout the week, the different types of scoring and competition, these pilots will build points, and from those points they will be ranked in order, obviously from 1 down, and they will we will then award prizes from 1 going down to in the 20 range. What ends up happening is whoever wins this year, they are able to come back, and they are ranked in that order for next year. So their banner numbers for the competitors are ranked upon where they finished the year before at Fiesta. Another great wide shot of the balloons floating kind of southwesterly off of Fiesta Field. If they're getting high enough, they're getting a box back to the northwest, making their way towards, they're not going to make it to Rio Rancho. There's not enough push coming from that box back to the north, but they're able to at least give a show to the people here in and around Fiesta Field. So we're about 8 minutes away now from when we will try and start competition, and we still have about, I would say, 18 or 20 balloons out there that they're going to try and get off the field here. There's Red Macaw. I know that's a fan favorite out here at Fiesta Field. There is Keith the Teeth. It's a brand new balloon that was added, being flown by Peter George. And it was kind of a hush-hush operation. So now we can talk about you, Peter, and about Keith. Good-looking balloon. Well, we have someone watching us from Okinawa, Japan, so I would think it's happy tomorrow afternoon in Okinawa right now. If I have the international date line set right in my head. There's the Black Panther. That balloon is a gorgeous balloon overall, and at night when it glows, the eyes of that balloon just light up. So it's a phenomenal balloon. If you're out here to glow and you see the Black Panther, I would get as close as you can to it and take some photographs of it. The real cool thing is if you put your camera on slow-mo when they glow, its eyes tend to flicker when they're doing the flicker burns. Here's Big Dog. And Steggy and Frank Boy, all getting ready to take flight here, I believe. And we have Tall Steve that just took off from the north end of the field, making his way south. No buzzing us, Tall Steve. That's a great shot. Our production team up here is taking pictures of me with balloons behind me in the stands here, and I was talking about how much I like Black Panther, and she got an awesome photograph of Black Panther right behind me, so thank you very much, Cindy. Well, there's a balloon with balloons. So not only do you have one balloon, but we have several balloons on there. And that qualifies actually as a special shape because the appendages come off what is the existing part of the physical balloon itself. There's a shot looking from east to west of a drone that we have out here outside the perimeter of the flight area, so it's able to zoom in on Tall Steve as he makes his way right to the left of us on the rooftop studio. I believe that balloon is called Hugs, if I'm not mistaken. There goes Tall Steve. I'm kind of partial to the Penguins coming from Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Penguins reside. Kind of like that. I'm sure my buddy Paul and his wife Nicole Groskinski back in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania could appreciate that. And we're about 4 minutes away from getting down to Art on the field so he can give us all the information that he's seen from right down there. In the meantime, I'll just kind of let you guys watch and enjoy what we like to do out here and watch balloons. That's why we all come out to the Fiesta. The conditions continue to seem very stable for at least us to get this competition in. We got approximately 300 balloons off, and it appears to me like what they're going to do today is that some of these balloons that you're seeing that are static behind those horses that were there are on the east side of the field. And they probably will stay static on the ground on the east side of the field. As it looks to me like they're trying to get the final 4 balloons out of the scoring area so they can begin this competition. The first day of competition at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the 53rd edition. I am Ted Maes. Art Lloyd Jr. is down on the field, and we'll be with him in just a second. But the minute that I say that, a balloon takes off. So great shot. But we know for a fact that Darth Vader will just be static because, as Art was explaining earlier, the fabric of that balloon has just been aged out. It's still airworthy enough to inflate, but not to take flight. There is an online posting up there for donations to rebuild the Vader balloon. So I'm sure they won't have any problem coming up with enough donations to have a new Vader balloon here in the near future. Mandy asked what the horses were for, and that is the mounted patrol. They just basically patrol Fiesta Field, and they have a whole process throughout the year where they bring their horses out to the field, or they bring balloons to the stables for the horses to become used to the hot air balloons, because understand that these burners have very high-pitched sounds. An awful lot of times people will ask, well, why do dogs bark when balloons fly over? And they typically don't see the balloon. They hear the balloon because it's very high-pitched, like a massive dog whistle. So what they're going to do is, speaking of dogs, what they will do is they will bring these balloons to the horses the balloons, to become accustomed to that. It's really more for crowd control and for security, to be quite honest with you. Good morning, Nikki Larson from Nixa, Missouri. Yes, please bring your new granddaughter. I think that's Wags right there. That's Barks. Okay. All right, I think Art is ready down on the field, so let's see if we can get to him down there. Art, are you there? Look at all those people down there around the special shapes that are on the northeast corner of the field. There's a big dog flying. That's from one of our drone shots. Someone yesterday posted a really good photo that I grabbed offline where it was saying how spooky it was. How spooky it was at the Balloon Fiesta. It had a lot of the great Halloween type balloons that were there. Art, are you down there with us?
We are down here.
Well,
we are standing by the boat, the Sid Cutter, the USS Sid Cutter. They are not quite ready yet. We can turn around so we get the right shot. They're not quite ready to open competition yet. And I know that it is 8 o'clock, but we still have some X's to get laid out. We're still trying to get some of the other balloons and spectators out of the scoring area. So we're not quite open yet. At least we don't have everything set up. Let's put it that way.
All right, well, when you're ready, let us know, and we'll send this right back down to you so we can get all the crack action right on the field for this first day of competition at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, well, while we wait for the competition to begin and all the action to start, it's going to be fast and furious because, again, there's only an hour of open window, at least is what they've said thus far. Again, conditions can always change on Fiesta Field, so we never know how that's going to take us, so that's going to be a decision of the scoring team as well as the operations team here and the safety team at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. But in the meantime, we're taking a great look at several of these shaped balloons that have elected to static on the northeast side of the field. We even have some down here on the southeastern side of the field. We have Doug Gant, When Pigs Fly, and Bill Brooker with Plano. You're looking at the Capybara, Steggy the Dinosaur, obviously the ever-famous Darth Vader, or Vader balloon. So we're just waiting for them to clear the remaining people out of the competition area. Now, back in the day, obviously they do this for safety reasons. You have all these balloons coming in, the wind tends to pick up. But back in the day, when I would come to Balloon Fiesta, they allowed the crowd to get right up to the scoring areas. And I'll never forget, I was probably 12 or 13 years old, Sid Cutter came in for a pole grab, and what they used to do is the local Pontiac, and they don't even have Pontiac cars anymore, the dealer would pony up a car to give away at Balloon Fiesta, and they would put a set of keys at the top of the pole. Okay, give me a second here. And he flew in, and Sid hit the pole and broke it and snapped it off right in front of everybody, and it was a pretty amazing thing to watch that close. But for safety reasons, we got to make sure with more balloons, because there weren't that many at the time, we need to make sure that everybody's free and clear and we have no incidents or accidents. So we're going to send it back down to Art. I believe he's down there ready. Art, what are we doing down there?
Well, Ted, the target area is officially open now. We might want to let the PA folks know that we are out here. The targets are open. There are 8 different places that they can throw their baggies or their markers on. The best one, the most coveted one, is to hit the bow of this boat, the USS Sid Cutter. Just a nice little boat out here, the bow. Right here, as we look at if we can check my figure right, this is the spot. This is going to be the absolute best scoring position.
So, Art, it has to be right there on the bow of the boat, not in the boat, but on the bow. Good morning, Balloon Fiesta. This is Ted Maes along with Art Lloyd Jr. Art is down on the field right in the middle of our competition area. Today is the Sid Cutter Memorial, and I'll let Art talk a little bit about what the pilots are trying to do when they fly into the field. Art?
Thanks, Ted, and welcome to the Sid Cutter Memorial competition on day 1. We are right at the perfect best spot to drop your marker today. This is the boat, the Sid Cutter. And the best scoring spot is right here on the bow of the boat. The farther away from the very point you get, the score gets a little bit harder. The distance gets longer. You can land in the boat, but if your marker falls outside the boat, that is like falling into the water. And so while they will measure that, they will add 300 feet to that for the scoring. Now, where they're going to measure, come on this way, Dylan. They're going to measure to this little X here, and this X is folded up because this is not actually the scoring, it's the measuring point. So they're going to measure from this spike right over to the bow. That's the best spot. Now, that's only one target. There are 7 other places that you can drop your marker out here. There are 2 islands. We've marked those off. So those would be land, and we will measure directly to those. There is an entire landmass, or think of it as beachfront property. You can land in there, and the distance from this measuring point to those will be your distance. All the grass area is water. We'll measure it, but add 300 feet to that. On top of that, there are 4 X's kind of out in the corners of the scoring area. That is a totally separate task. It's called a hesitation waltz. Pilots can drop a marker on any one of those. You can't go on 2, 3, or 4. You just pick one and go on that one. The other piece of this is when you're doing the Sid Cutter, you need to drop a red or an orange marker. On the X's, any color except red or orange. That's how we're going to know which target to measure your baggie from by the color. So if you throw a blue one over here on the boat, we're going to measure it to the closest X, not the Sid Cutter one. If you throw your red one on an X, we're going to measure it to the Sid Cutter measuring point, not to the X. So you have to be sure that you remember what color to throw where. The box that we've been watching all morning is really high, really slow. We're not sure they're going to get the opportunity to make a lot of different passes come by the target area this morning. And it's only open until 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be watching. I suspect most of them will be coming in from the northwest area. We'll be watching for that to happen. We'll be right here and bring it all to you live on Balloon Fiesta, live right here on day one of competition at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Sound like a good deal, Ted?
Sounds like a plan, sir. I'll tell everybody, you know, Art and I have been doing ballooning for many, many, many years, and this is probably, for me, one of the most fun days that are out there. So we will anticipate these these competition pilots coming in. I can see some of them already headed in. If you guys look to the north and the west, you'll see some of those racer balloons. They're kind of like a Fabergé egg shape. Those are competitors that are trying to make their way into the field, and as they come in, Art's going to be calling out to myself their banner numbers so we can tell you exactly who it is. We know many of them, but when you're dealing with 650 plus balloons, a lot of times that memory kind of goes away back and forth, especially with all these colors. So, Art, I know that this is pretty exciting for you. This is your favorite part of the competition, correct?
Oh, this is absolutely one of the favorite parts, Ted. And we're just starting to identify some of the folks that are out here, what the strategies might be. I see one of the little racer balloons out there that we know is hot stuff. It's the multicolor with the multicolored chilies all around the center. We're watching one with a nice orange cross that just launched, is dropping back down from up high as well. And as I look, there is a little bit direction to the east and southeast. I'm kind of looking at one of the ride balloons, Sundance, to kind of pick out that direction. So there is still steerage up there. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets here, because they're going to have to, remember, they had to go at least a mile away, find a launch site that is a legal launch area directly north of the field, which would be great places to launch, is the Sandia Pueblo. That is not a place that you can legally launch from. Great places to land and great opportunities and relations we have with the Sandia Pueblo, but one of the agreements is we'll be not launching from there. I do see one coming in low right over the berm. It's going to be a few minutes before anybody gets to the target area.
Well, as we discussed before this morning, before we went down onto the field, these competition pilots, right after pilot briefing, exited the field and then started their strategy. So they've been watching the pilots that took off from the Maes Ascension to kind of see what's going on. But what ends up happening in Albuquerque is the conditions at the field are ever changing. We deal in a micro meteorological situation, whereas if you're watching the weather on TV, it's not going to be the same. So we're constantly changing out here at the field, and if you've noticed from when the first balloons launched to now, you're seeing how many of them that launched earlier are boxing back over and coming over. So many of these you see to the east are not competition pilots. They are just flying today, but the competition pilots that are coming in, they have their eyes on exactly everything that they are doing so they can make their way here to the field.
So, Ted, keep your eye on the yellow one with the orange cross. That's going to be the first one coming in for a pass. We're actually going to walk over to one of the X's just so we can show you what that looks like from out here.
That is pilot Tim
My
Lloyd.
guess is the orange one. Oh, sure. I should have known that. He's going to kind of go right between them. The other thing that we're going to be talking about as they come over, they're still moving a little bit fast, and that means you have to compensate for the momentum of the balloon and therefore your baggie as they come in. You can't wait until you're directly over it and drop it, because the baggie's going to continue that momentum You have to gauge that, let go of the marker before you get to the target so that the momentum is there. So not only do you have to fly here, you have to figure out when to drop your marker as well.
And we're going to watch Tim drop it live here on Balloon Fiesta Live. And for all of you that are at the field, you can watch him drop it. Tim is from Runnels, Iowa.
So, Ted, we've made it over to one of the hesitation waltz X's. Remember, we said that there are 4 of these here. So here's the center. They've already got the measuring tape on it. Remember, throwing on an X is a marker other than red or orange. And these are about 25 feet. Closest to the center of the X is what's going to get you that point. But remember, all 4 of these X's are in effect the same target. You can throw on any one of the X's, and somebody really close on this one will beat somebody that's not quite so close on another one. Our next pass over on the eastern side. Yellow equator.
That's
21
banner,
is on the basket. That's the banner number.
And that is Jim Walters from Holt Summit, Missouri.
So he is coming over the landmass. There's his marker. He's got the orange one in hand. He throws it. It's inside the land. So the first throw is a good score in the Sid Cutter Memorial Competition. That will get measured to that measuring point right off the bow of the boat. We've got one coming in directly overhead, black with the yellow, orange, green spikers are kind of high. We'll watch and see if they decide to throw from that high. In fact, here it comes. It's not an orange one, so he's going for an X. And you can see that the marker's moving just as fast as the balloon. And not too far off the island, but that will get measured to an X because it is not red. The racer, the hot stuff racer, is coming in over the east side of the field. That might be Jody Browning.
You are correct, sir.
Being followed in by the Arizona flag design, blue at the bottom, yellow and orange stripes on the top, and the gold stars along the equator. But see, he's higher than the racer, and so higher than the racer, you're moving more to the southeast, where the racer is moving directly south. But looking high, I see a lot more balloons making their way back north. So there is definitely the opportunity to use the box to get back around. Whether it will be straight enough to be able to get to the center of the field will be something we'll have to keep an eye on.
And Art, that's Bob Romanowski from Peoria, Arizona, in Arizona Superstar.
So for those who are trying to figure out how to get here, on the north end of the field, you have to be on the west side of the field because there is definitely a layer in there. I'm watching the white balloon. There's a banner on it I can't quite yet read yet. A white balloon with some green and blue at the top and the bottom. As he's dropping or she is dropping through that layer, they're getting that push to the east. So this whole set of racers, if you look out to the north and a little bit northwest, those are the folks that are going to be in great shape. In fact, I see Pat Irwin out there.
He is carrying
flew
one
our
of our
camera
cameras
yesterday. We had great pictures. Yep. And last year when he flew our camera, he ended up going the wrong direction on us. So today he doesn't have our camera, and it looks like he's going to have a great line into the target area today.
Art, that white balloon right over to the north part of the field with the green and the blue, that's Royal Fortune being flown by Mike Lorenz from Canton, Ohio. This is his third Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. So he's trying to get in the field here and put some points on the board.
Keep an eye just to the left of him, to the west of him, the red racer. That might be Gary Cass. He's kind of dropping quickly through that layer, trying to avoid the push to the southeast.
That is indeed Gary, who's from Yuma, Arizona.
There's still that layer. There's still a layer there. The white one with the green and blue we were talking about has gone back up a little bit and stopped that push. And Gary may have managed to get below it. Gary again in the red racer. Those are the cylindrical ones. We'll see more of those shapes coming in, or we should see more of those shapes coming in. The idea behind those shapes is that they're a little more maneuverable, more like a sports car than the SUV. They can go up and down a little faster without the balloon shape being distorted. They're usually a little smaller balloons as well, making them a little more responsive to the burner and to the vent.
Now, Art, just to the north side of the field, you see the racer that's stair-stepped with the multicolor, with the yellow, the blue, the green, the red. That's Aaron Gerbhardt from Indianola, Iowa, and Step It Up is the name of the balloon. And it looks to me, from my vantage point, he's got the best track yet thus far.
I think you're correct. He is already lower than that level we've been talking about going off to the southeast. Gary's gone back up because it had pushed him too far, but Stepping Up is below that, so he should miss that southeast push and be able to come right in. If he gets any of that, it'll push him kind of more right over the boat. So that, I think, will be the next one in, and I think you've called it. Don't go higher, Stepping Up. Don't go higher.
No. Stay low. Stay low. He's going up.
Don't you love just having us drive from the ground?
Armchair balloon pilots.
That's it. Pat Irwin has managed to go back up a little bit, and he's getting that push to the east. There's just enough variability out there that it's going to be where do I want to be as I come down, because no one is low enough to see exactly what's happening on the ground. I'm looking at the flags on the north end, and they seem to be mostly out of the north, but there's a little bit of tend to push to the southeast. So now Gary is dropping in over on the far northeast corner of the field. He's getting a cheer from the crowd out there.
He is. Cheer him on, folks. Cheer him on.
He's just entering the scoring area. He looked, I saw the red marker, but it looks like they're going to throw the other color marker. Remember, the X's are kind of on the corners and out on the side. They've gone past the first X on that side. They've got one more in front of them. Wind it up, give it a toss.
Not bad.
We're just a little too far away to see how close that is to the X.
Well, the crowd likes it, so it's got to be close.
Well, and it looked like he might have thrown the red one on the island. Like I said, we had moved over to the other X. We're going to head back into the center. But two more markers dropped over there. You've got a green stair step, green and yellow racer coming down over Concession Row. They're going to be east of the target area.
Art, it appears from up here that there seems to be some sort of like magnetic field that's keeping these balloons right from the center of the field.
You know, Ted, we've noticed that over the years. As you may have picked up, we're just 20 feet or so to the east of this paved road that comes down the field. And what happens a lot of times, they'll come in over that berm, and the balloons that are on the east side of the road get pushed east, while the balloons that come in on the west side of the road get pushed west. It's like there's a barrier above the ground over that road. We'll see if that sets up again today. Now we're back to watching the stepping up balloon that we mentioned. That's the stair step with the primary colors of yellow, red, green, blue, etc. And so far, he continues to have a straight south in.
But let's see what happens when he clears.
Maybe even a touch of west.
Art, from my vantage point, he's starting to hook a little bit west, maybe more so than he would like, but he's still pretty close.
It's almost like now's the time to drop and plan on that road to push you back east. As we say that, he drops.
And it looks like he's making.
Remember, they can come all the way down to the ground. They don't want to hit the ground or touch the ground. Putting some good heat in there. Looks like it's going to level out nicely. So he is right over the landmass. Of course, we have the checkerboard racer coming in right behind him. It's going to be a little more to the east. So stepping up is over the land, not throwing there, has a white marker in their hand, while the checkerboard, we'll see if they take the easy. They do. They take the solid score in the land with the checkerboard.
I can't tell from a banner number, but that may be Clayton Crouch from Denver, Colorado. Flying
Looks
banner
like
92.
it, number 92.
92, that is Clayton.
That's the one.
But I'll tell you,
so
Art,
they're going. Both of these guys are going for the X's on the far southeast corner. Good throw from stepping up. Clayton winds up. He tosses. He's in there good as well. So two good throws in a row from the two racers coming in, stepping up, and the finish line.
if you turn to the north there, check out Pat. He's worked it, and it looks like he's got a good track. As long as that ground wind stays what it was, he may go right over the boat.
Yeah, we watched both of those two come in, and they went to the southwest. So Pat is northeast of the boat. exactly opposite. The other one we want to keep an eye on is the spiral racer that's in front of him. He's a little bit farther east, but if he can catch that direction to the southwest, which we saw was only 20, 30 feet off the ground, he could get pushed over this way. I don't think far enough to the boat, but you're right, Pat Irwin in the racer with the black, red coming down from the top, orange, yellow. That's looking good.
Yeah, can't get a banner number yet on that one to the right. If our crack camera crew can help me out here. From our south camera, maybe we'll zoom in and see who that is.
I think the banner number is turned to the folks on the side of the road over there. And as soon as you tell me who it is, I'll say, oh yeah, I remember.
That is Patty Nils.
Oh yeah.
From Mariana, Arizona, flying Listo is that balloon.
So right over the X, just kind of set it out. Not a throw, it's one of those just kind of set it down right on the X.
And you guys can see it there on the blue.
My only question is it looked like it was a red marker, and remember we talked about that? Red markers are for the Sid Cutter. And the other color are for the markers. I think he may have mixed up his colors.
Yes, it was a red marker, unfortunately.
So that'll get measured to a Sid Cutter marker, where the white one he threw on the island will get measured to the X. So Pat has managed to get pushed off to the west.
Yeah, Art, it looks like if they hold it at that altitude further back where Pat was, he'll get that westerly hook. But remember, they cannot drop below that 75-foot pylon marker until they're over the scoring area. So they must maintain that altitude 75 feet above the ground. That's what those big pylons, the Isleta pylons, signify for the pilots as they come in, as well as the scoring officials and the safety team.
So Pat and his additional pilot, whose name we can look up there, did drop the orange marker on the landmass, so that's going to be a good score. They're now looking to get over to the X with their other color marker.
And his additional his additional pilot is Chris Sansacelli from Reno, Nevada.
So in looking, it was Chris who dropped the orange marker. Pat's winding up the yellow marker. Looks like a good throw into the X. So two good throws by Pat Irwin and his additional pilot. Two good scores on the two tasks that are out here. And the conditions have changed from when we started 30 minutes ago. We were saying that you want to come in from the northwest. Now you need to be coming in from the northeast, because everything here on the deck is now blowing to the southwest. Although the one that's coming in next, this kind of stair step with all the primary colors and the darker colors in the middle, they seem to be having more of a south. And then we've got the yellow racer coming behind. This Kubitschek coming by is 326.
Right. That's actually Peter Kubitschek.
And he's waving at us. So the island on that side. I don't see a marker thrown on the island. The next target would be the X. Al Nels is coming down the west side in Beautiful World while we kind of continue to watch Peter. And this yellow one is 067. Is that Zarek?
Steve Wilkinson from Palm Desert, California. Art, this is
Steve,
his 35th Balloon Fiesta.
Okay. It did. Yeah, I was going to say the yellow isn't the right color for Zarek.
And no mustaches.
Yeah. There's a great throw on the hesitation waltz X in the northwest corner of the field by Steve.
Art, I believe the next one coming in up at the northeast end of the field has the stars with the vertical yellow, blue, yellow, red. That seems to be Jerry Palmer from Albuquerque, and the name of his balloon is Iona Balloon, and this is his first Balloon Fiesta, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is. Interesting story behind the name of that balloon, Iona. Obviously, with the red, orange, and yellow, the stars, etc., that's kind of like the Arizona flag, almost upside down. And it actually was an Arizona balloon. But if you take off the A, the R, and the Z of Arizona, you have left Iona. And I'm liking his line, too. There is definitely still a box up there. One of the last balloons to take off from the field before competition started is now high over the north end of the field. It's a blue and yellow vertical with some red darts in it. That's Sandia Sunrise 2. Peter Cuneo flying that. Like I said, he was one of the last ones off the field, and he's now high overhead, so he has flown that box. He is not part of the competition, though. Jerry is not getting, in Iona, is not getting the push to the southwest that he needs to get to the boat. Back to that barrier of the road.
It's almost like a dividing rod for balloons.
It's a pretty incredible phenomenon that we have watched for years out here during the competition.
Looks like Jerry's going to make a throw right here.
It's pretty far east of the landmass, but he's got a nice line on the X. There's his throw. Not bad to the X.
Very nice.
And I think you have Mr. Sprinkles going down over Concession Row a little bit farther east and south.
J.J. Mancini and Mr. Sprinkles. Now he's getting the turn, Art, but he may be past the boat at this point.
Yeah, there it is. So the orange marker dropped into the island. So good score there. So 2 good scores for Jerry Palmer. While we've kind of concentrated on the boat and the bow of the boat, that, of course, is the best score in the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. It's also the most difficult to get to because the area is so much smaller. So I think, especially with the conditions today, we're going to continue to see, as we have already, a lot of these pilots go for the more safe score, whether it be the landmass or the island areas that are out here. If you go for those, a lot easier to get in those. Yep, the distance is a little greater than the boat. But if you're there and there's nobody on the boat, you're still at the top of the leaderboard in that task.
I think that's a solid strategy for the conditions that are happening today, Art.
So I see another racer coming in, actually has the push to the southwest. He's pretty high. It's kind of the yellow staggered equator, greens at the bottom, blacks and blues at the top. Much more difficult to drop from that altitude because of that momentum we talked about. But it looks like he's trying to drop in now. May have waited too late to make that descent. But then I'm not piloting. 178. Past the landmass, obviously east of the boat. Throwing on the island, just outside the island. Winding up to try and get to the X. Don't get it caught in the crown line. And there's the throw. You know, pilots will take those markers and just kind of get them into that windup to try and get some more distance from that. What happens is they forget that they have lines coming down like the crown line, and invariably they'll get it caught in that, and then they have to kind of untangle it and start winding it up and throw again. If you have to do that more than a couple of times, you've gone beyond the target. So the blue, black, silver eraser coming down the left side looks like 0, 3, maybe 7, drops his red inside the landmass. So a good score there. He's winding up to throw the white. Not going to go that X. Maybe he's going to look at the second X. He's thinking to get the crown line out of the way.
That's Scott
so that
Hutchinson.
He can wind up and throw that.
That's Scott Hutchinson in Uncorked.
Oh, sure.
Uncorked. And the one prior with the
Down
yellow
the east
equator.
side.
Yeah, the yellow equator. That was Peg Bilson, Art, in Shiloh.
Oh, one of her newer balloons. You bet. Red, white, and blue going down the east side. Should hit the X or be in a good position to hit the X.
That's Tom Russo from Monroe Township, New Jersey, in his 6th balloon Fiesta.
165, the racer with the stair-step pattern, pink and white and black.
Is Ryan Beyer from right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Over the landmass.
The name of that balloon, Art, is Mischief.
He's got a marker in his hand. He's got the vent line in a hand. He's pulling out the orange marker. Actually, the yellow one is in his teeth. Throw the orange. Looks like that's inside the island. Headed right for the X. Pull it out of his mouth. Throw it at the X. Looks good. Coming in next, Cottonwood Mall, the yellow one with the kind of snake-type pattern going around it. We're going to have a lot of balloons coming in right as we get to the 9 o'clock end of scoring today. Because they're just lining up right.
That one
right
in the yellow
behind
is Curtis Godslifke from Littleton, Colorado. And Art, we have an update.
Yes,
we have an update on the scoring. The last email that I received, the competition will now close at 9:30, weather permitting, of course, 9:30. So we still have another about 45 minutes at this point.
Oh, good, good. That's typically our time. And a throw on the landmass from the racer following the yellow one in. It fell just outside the landmass. That is 027.
And that's Kimberly Whiteman from Camas, Utah. This is her actual first balloon Fiesta.
Well, not a bad throw on the landmass. Here goes the throw on the X. Next one in. Regular shape, orange equator, variable vertical stripes. Using the turning vent, which almost seems to stop the push to the southeast. It's going to come right over the edge of the landmass. We'll see if he takes the safe throw. Looks like they're going to. Yep, just drop it nicely right into the landmass, right inside. So basically about as close as you could have gotten. They got equipment hanging over the banner. The middle number's a 4. That's not going to help you. And the Ultra Magic Racer coming down the other side. Number 13. That's Johnny Petrin.
That is Johnny from Missouri City, Texas.
So he's going to throw on the landmass. There's the orange. It might be outside. He may have thrown a little bit too soon. He's winding up for the X. There's that throw. That's going to look good. We talked about hot stuff. I know that Jody changed the name of this balloon. To me, it'll always be hot stuff with the chilies around it. There's his throw. It looks like the marker bounced right inside on the landmass. Winding up to go to the X while we watch a couple more come in. Here comes one of the bears. I'm not sure if that's David Bear or Ray Bear, since the balloons are identical. We'll have to get a little closer for us to be able to see. That's David Bear. And then 373 is coming in right behind him. The closest to the boat yet, but no throw.
That's Jeff Busing from Colorado Springs, Colorado, Art.
We were talking about Jeff earlier. Remember the special shape that he's not telling his crew what it's going to be later this weekend?
That's correct. And I'm going to have to rely on you up here because I have nothing but racer balloons in front of me other than what I can see on the screen. So it's all on you at this point, Art.
I think the next, well, I've got two coming at me. I've got a racer, I think that's Ken Drawn, the yellow with the diamonds of the orange and blue. I've also got a regular shape, black, white, purple, blues. Stair steps, they're over the island. We'll see if they throw on the X. There is a throw on the X from that balloon. And here's kind of what we're talking about. The racer, the yellow one with the diamond patterns, moving to the south and southeast, while the regular shape coming over the road is being pushed to the west. 52-052.
Well, the yellow one is Ken Drawn in
Coming
Extremely
in
Contagious, and then banner 52, Art, is going to be
nice drop into the island area with his orange marker. 147 is mostly yellow, blue at the bottom, orange. They're winding up to throw on the X. There's the blue marker, about 10 feet off the edge of the X.
And this George Knighting from
George
Knighting from St. George, Utah, flying. Who's asking?
One of the Hartzell balloons. We've got Joe, Rhett, and Lucas here, I believe. That's the silver one with the blue equator and the white stars. It's one of the kids. It's not Joe. Being followed in by 083.
Well, it is Rhett Hartzell and Silver Star, the one you speak of. That's banner number 99. And what did you say the other banner number was?
083.
That's Alan Anderson from Maiden, Nevada in Pixie Stick.
Oh, Rhett's got a little person in the basket with him who just handed the marker up to Rhett, who's going to just go ahead and drop that right on the island. Not much of a throw, just kind of push it in right there.
Nice job, Rhett.
We've got 5 seconds to take a breath before the next wave comes flying in.
You are watching the first day of competition or seeing the first day of competition out here at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the 53rd edition. I'm Ted Maes, and we have Art Lloyd Jr. down on the field with all the action. So, Art, there's your breath. Take it away.
Thanks, Ted. Yeah, and remember, if you're out here watching it, you can always go home and watch it on BalloonFiestaLive.com. And if you wanted to rewatch it, you can always go back and watch all of our episodes of Balloon Fiesta Live on BalloonFiestaLive.com. We are live for the entire 14 sessions of Balloon Fiesta. We start at 6 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Time. Our evening sessions start at 6 p.m. So come on out, enjoy all the flying activities and everything else here on the field, then go home and watch it on Balloon Fiesta Live. Again, BalloonFiestaLive.com. 405 coming down Concession Row, followed by Blair Kaufman in the purple one with the purple hearts. He's going to be right down the edge as well. Little touch of ground by 405.
That's Tequila Sunrise and Scott McGrew from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
There's Blair's throw right off the legs of the X. And we're watching 080, so number 80. This may be a throw on the boat. Stay with this one.
This is Jimmy Marshall from Sonoma, California in Morning Glory.
He let that go about 1 second too soon because it fell right on the north side of the boat, which of course is the water. So that score, that distance will be short, but there'll be that 300-foot penalty added to it. But that's the only throw we've seen on the boat so far. One of those momentum throws, the ones that are so hard to judge when to let go. And it's almost a split second at the speed they're coming through here today.
Hey, Art, if you look to the northeast, I kind of see one of our friends from last year, one Zach Griego in Pixie to the right-hand side. Or Dixie, I'm sorry. Dixie's coming in. He looks like he has a better track. Again, who knows what's going to happen with that road. But
in the meantime, 117 is coming right down the road. That's yellow with the kind of diamond type patterns.
That's Sean Krause from Zachary, Louisiana.
Let's get you. Yeah.
Sean Krause from Zachary, Louisiana. The name of the balloon is really.
Oh, just outside the boat. That was the half a second too late to throw. That's what I mean about this being so tough, because as fast as they're moving by, you have got to time that throw just right. Here comes Dave Eichhorn down the east side of the field in the yellow, orange, and white balloon, while one of the other Hartzels is going to come over the center of the field. There's the throw on the X by Dave. Getting ready to get the orange one out. Remember, you got to continue to fly the balloon as well. This number 17, silver, the other one, this is Joe Hartzell coming in. Another one on the boat. Follow this racer. This one. Okay. In the boat!
In the boat
for Joe Hartzell. Pink and teal and blue dropping in quickly right on top of us here. He's going to take the safe throw the orange on the landmass, put some heat in, number 97. Good morning. Mike Spinello over on the east side, number 56, throwing over his orange one, going to fall outside the island. Sorry.
Hey, Art, that was in the pink one with the blues. That was Wild Thing and Shane Richardson from Henderson, Nevada. He normally flies a Southwest airliner, so I think he'd much rather have that today to get over the boat than the balloon.
A little more control, huh?
Yes, a little bit more.
Hey, I talked about Sandia Sunrise, one of the last balloons to take off of the field before competition started, has now managed to box around, is going to be coming down the east side right over Concession Row. Peter Cuneo flying that, while one of the Penguins is coming towards us. This has got the blue at the bottom, so that's going to be the boy Penguin.
That would be Splash, correct?
If I'm remembering my... I get Puddles and Splash mixed up all the time. But it's the boy.
That is Puddles.
With blue.
That is Puddles.
Puddles. Well, there they go. They're going to use the turning vent to show it around so we can see. And waving at us anyway. So a great photo op for him as Peter flies Sandia Sunrise right down the crowd line. Sean Spiker in his racer got punched. The green and blue with the skull on it's going to be high. He's winding up to throw that orange marker, though. There it goes. It's going to be far east of the landmass, but in the scoring area. Next up, a regular shape, horizontal pattern with kind of the muted colors of the pink, the green, the yellow, the blue. I can see they have markers in hand. They're drifting to the southeast. Blue marker out because he's going to go right near the X. One of the 4 X's that are out here, part of what a tasks we call the hesitation waltz. Pilots get to pick which X they throw on. That's listed as task 2. Grab the orange one quickly, throw it out. It's in the island. That's good. We got number 20 dropping in quickly. The orange marker was looking at the boat, changed his mind, is going to go for the island. It did not make it into the island. Now winding up the white one, we're talking about, I think that's Sean Ray at number 20. Throw it off to the X. We talked about Zach Maxwell. He's going very high now, Ted.
Yep.
As Eric Greenwood gets a pretty significant push to the southeast, he's going to be outside the scoring area. Above him, the blue racer with the yellow kind of outline of a blue box. That's Joe Candelaria from here in Albuquerque. There's Derek Wells. Joe is dropping his white marker from up high. That's actually not bad at all. Joe is a good competitor. I do see Zarek Wells over on the east side as well. That's the yellow with the black mustache. Looks like Joe might be landing right there in front of you, Ted, on the south end of the field.
He is headed my way for sure. And the conditions continue to change because, again, that dividing rod now seems to be getting wider and wider than before, if I'm not mistaken.
There's definitely a much wider angle when you come down. Many years it's kind of like a couple of degrees, and it's pushing 10 degrees both ways at this point. Of course, that brings up the old saying, you know, when you do get a great score, you know, it's 90% luck and 10% pilot error. So we've got some maneuvering going on up there yet. And with the target open till 9:30, we're about 32 minutes away.
I just had Zarek come by and say good morning.
He's flying over you.
And it looks like a couple competitors are still trying to get that north back. If you look straight up, you have John Schmitz in that red balloon with the white zigzag and the blue with the mile-high dot on it. It looks like he's really trying to work it back north, the same as Zach up there in Dixie.
He's got a little ways to go yet. He's still south of the boat. So we have this yellow, blue, and white racer coming in. We're might get some good. He's going to be right on the edge of the landmass. We'll see what he goes for. But we need some heat in the balloon.
170, got that number?
No.
It always seems to be in the opposite.
He's going to drop
179.
on the island. So he throws the white one on the island. What color are you supposed to throw in Seed Cutter? Orange or red. Another pilot mixing up their colors.
That's James Lawson flying Speed Racer, and it's definitely speeding today. Los Avalos, California. This is his 5th anniversary as a pilot here at Balloon Fiesta.
I kind of hate to call out that they've thrown the wrong colors, but
if I'm not mistaken, this is Keith Tkach coming in.
Tkach coming in, eyeing us. Yeah, Keith right in front of us, this racer. Yeah, To Catch a Breeze is his regular shape. This one is
too fast to catch.
Something.
Too fast
to catch.
Yep. And this is his 20th anniversary here at Balloon Fiesta. Local pilot in Albuquerque.
Keith always a big competitor as well. He's got his orange marker in his teeth. So we'll see if he drops. Meanwhile, the red, white, and blue stair-step racer is going to come in. Looks like he's looking for the marker. Let's keep an eye on that. He's going to be right over the boat. There's the throw. Oh, it bounced out. I think it bounced out. The scoring official. Is it in? No. The weighted part of the marker is outside the boat. Now, while the tail is up there, they always measure to the nearest part of the weighted part of the marker. So the marker did fall outside the boat. So that will be scored to the scoring area plus the 300 penalty points. So close. What a story he's got to tell.
Yet so far away.
Absolutely. So we've got an Ultra Magic balloon up there. We got Meow Wolf up there. Humpty Dumpty's out there. The Beef Council balloon is out there. The Spirit of Fiesta, that's going to be Ray Bear. We saw Dave Bear come by earlier in his balloon, Barely Awake. John Schmidt is slowly making the way back to the north. We talked about him. From the ground, it looks like a red balloon. If we could see more of it, we'd see the white, blue, and the yellow dot. Is 5280 or 5280 or 5280 flyer.
Signifying the city of Denver, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
The elevation, 5,280 feet, Mile High City.
I also believe we see Neil Jackson out there on the horizon, if I'm not mistaken, to the right. Kind of to the right.
Oh, yeah, sure do. I was kind of looking left where I see Sunflower out to the left. And Zach has also made it to a good position. Here comes Meow Wolf. Throwing the orange marker. Off to the side of the island.
That's Chris Smart from Roanoke, Indiana, flying Meow Wolf.
So the nice bright colors of yellow, blue, and orange, kind of an eye pattern or a cross pattern. Coming over a little bit at altitude.
I'm looking hard, I'm looking.
154. 454, sorry. 454, actually not a competitor banner. 454, all of our competitor banners are lower than 300. So if he's flying the competition pattern, he's not registered as one of our competitors. Next one in used to be Tom Caius's balloon. It's got the gold and black stair steps with the red and blue. 082.
Jared Trainer from Albuquerque, New Mexico in Dream On. That's the balloon he's flying.
Was looking close to see if does he throw on the landmass or does he throw on the boat. Here comes the throw. In the boat.
In the boat. Nice job, Jared.
Good job, Jared. Yeah, look at that. He's excited.
He's pumped. We got a great shot on Balloon Fiesta Live. Those super zoom cameras have him just jumping in the basket for joy.
All righty. He'll be going back and downloading that copy to play for folks. We talked earlier about Marissa Myers and landing one of those cloud hopper balloons. I'm not sure who's flying the Mars rover. That's the red, white, and balloon hopper, but it's coming in. They're kind of practicing their windup with the markers I see. It's either Marissa or
that's Marissa.
Her husband Cody flying.
It's definitely Marissa. I can see her on our super zoom here.
Using the turning vent to turn herself around so she has a better angle to throw. You can't move around the basket because there is no basket. So you have to kind of maneuver the balloon to get yourself turned the right way. Actually, I see we talked about having a camera. I thought I saw the camera hanging off the side of the balloon as well. So she's just going to drop on the X. There's her throw. Looks good from there. White racer, black, red, and a little bit of silver coming in on the east side. Probably, west side, sorry. Going to get pushed, I think, farther to the west.
Once again hitting the dividing line.
Yeah. And went to do the wrap up and throw and got the line into the crown line. Ended up deciding just to throw it. That appears to be inside from my angle. And then it just kind of lets the yellow marker go down to the X. It's a little bit south, but it's going to be a score. Remember, the idea here is to be able to continue to score consistently. You want to score today on at least one of the tasks. Better if you get on two, because we've got competition tomorrow. There'll probably be a couple of tasks, and again on Thursday and Friday. The way to be at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the week is to score on more tasks than everyone else. One first place and no scores on the rest doesn't get you to the top of the leaderboard, not usually anyway.
Exactly right. So if you have that opportunity to throw that marker, make sure you take the points no matter how small they are, because you just want to get on the board, as Art just said. We have Rich Longhorn coming in with Humpty Dumpty. Hopefully he can be pushed to the west, but it doesn't appear that way. And then you have Trenton Caldwell in the New Mexico Beef Council balloon. Brand new balloon coming in, and he looks pretty good as well, Art.
He does, and they tell me that they call that balloon Beefy Boy. Thanks, Ken Beebe, for giving us the update on Beefy Boy. Trent, a big-time competitor here as well.
And unfortunately, Humpty just got pushed, but he got pushed east, not west.
Yeah. And Trent is actually getting the, again, he's east of the road, you get pushed east. While we watch the Spirit of Fiesta yellow balloon up high, that's going to be Ray Bear. He's still got a little bit to the west. There's Trent's throw, solidly in the landmass. Nice, solid, safe. While Humpty's going right, going to land in the crowd over on the east side. Do not get in front of the balloon if he comes in.
I think
Trent and his passenger. He's going to have his passenger, looks like, drop.
I think
Wind up the white one for the X. Humpty's dragging along over there. But he's down safe. Everything's good.
I think he's headed for a breakfast burrito.
So Ray Bear's going to drop from high in the Spirit of Fiesta balloon. He's got the orange marker. I'm sure he's looking at the landmass. There was the throw to the landmass.
Did he touch? No.
And Ray coming right down to the deck. That looked like that stuck. It might have bounced out, but it might have stuck. .007 is the green and yellow racer coming in, winding up to throw on the landmass.
That's Leroy Claire from Carlisle, Iowa. High-class hottie.
Change of plans. Drop the colored marker on the X. Instead of going for the landmass, take the orange one over to the island. it's kind of the way to do this. You know, it's kind of like one of you fly the balloon and the other one throw the marker. That may be just outside the island from my vantage point. But definitely a good score on the X. Did I hear we have our balloon camera shot?
Yes, we do. It's coming in right over the north. Well, it's almost center of the field.
I'm thinking northeast. I think I recognize 8-bit JB Aiken's balloon. It's
Yes,
going to be that one right there.
Yep.
So when we talked about the schedule, and I talked with JB about flying the Sid Cutter Memorial, he says that's like baseball and hitting a long foul. He's always way off to the side.
Well, he hit another foul ball at this point.
At least he's still up to bat.
And that's not one that I can catch.
Are they taking our picture? Should I be waving at JB?
Yeah, they're zooming in on you down there. Yep, they are. Go ahead and wave. I was speaking.
Now JB gets the push to the southwest.
I was speaking with our camera crew about the different types of balloons they'd be flying in, and said it would be a little bit more bumpy in a Firefly, and you could tell from the shot he wasn't wrong. It looks like
he's going to throw anyway.
He's gonna throw.
There's a windup.
And he just got it caught in the upright or the crown line, actually.
I was going to say, I saw the wind, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. Here it comes.
It's on video, JB. It's on video. I believe that's Colin McClug in the Freedom Balloon headed towards you on the north end of the field, and in the 5280
It
flyer.
would be, yep, yeah.
You have Mr. Schmitz right
it's
there.
almost like John got pushed just a little. Yeah, he got pushed a little bit to the east.
He did a big circle around the middle of the field.
He's going to be over in the. Yeah. Fairly consistent, though. About 500, 400 feet up, maybe. You can still go to the southwest, but once you drop below that, at least on the east side of the field, you start going off to the southeast. So there's a marker from 108 on the X. That's the yellow and black with the kind of little diamond spikes. John throws in, got to the X and kind of threw the orange. Again, it's in there for a score. Here comes Colin in his Freedom Racer. And right there, the turn to the southeast happened. While we continue to watch Colin, there's his throw into the landmass for a solid score. Zach Maxwell's coming down the west side of the road. We'll see what happens with him.
Well, Art, you know, most of them have been pushed from the west to the east unless they get too far west. And I'm looking at him from the rooftop studio here, and he's going, I'm going to say west, unfortunately, but I could be wrong.
Well, just like we said at about 400 feet, you'd go to the southeast. I look up about 500 feet, and they're still going to the southwest. So in the first 6... Well, here's Zach. He's got the orange marker out. He's past the landmass, so he's going to go for the boat. There's the windup. Go, 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 go.
There's the throw.
Another one of those momentums. I wanted to say, and I spent time on the scoring team here. So when you spend time down here, you get to judge, and of course it's much more easier to judge the momentum when you're down here on the ground. But you get to judge, you need to drop now, and of course they keep going and going and going and let it go, and it's to be too far off. But hey, he took the high risk shot, didn't pay off today, but maybe next time it will. 009 is this racer with the oranges and blues coming in. There's the throw into the landmass. Take the safe score.
That's Bruce Wood from
Get the
Carbondale,
white marker
Colorado.
out. He's in a nice ascent. It's going to be kind of a little bit off from the X's, which is what happens when you get close to the other targets. But he's going to wind up and let it throw. He did get his crown line. Oh, he hit it with the crown line. I thought he'd pulled it out of the way.
Again, that's Bruce Wood flying Otter from Carbondale, Colorado.
Talking about getting the marker caught in the crown line. I don't remember what year and I don't remember who it was, but there was a set of videos that we captured on Balloon Fiesta Live a number of years ago where the pilot actually got it caught either in the crown line or on the basket 7 times before he was able to successfully let that marker go.
I do remember.
And he had to be way past the target by the time he got that 7th throw loose.
I do remember that. Art, do we have a number on this one coming in with the lime diamonds and red blues?
Not yet. He's actually still pretty far. Well, he's just in about maybe 2 or 3 rows. He's definitely getting pushed to the southeast. It's more of a square basket than even the rectangle basket. Weren't those kind of the nationals?
Yes.
There's the orange throw towards the landmass. Not there. But he's going to go right over the X. There's the throw. Good throw, probably about 10 feet or so.
That's Kyman Kingsley. From,
161.
Yep, Kyman Kingsley from Miller, Missouri, and Pixel Perfect is the name of the balloon.
Well, that fits. That fits nicely. 10 more minutes until the target is scheduled to close.
And it looks like we only have about 14 competitors that are going to have an opportunity to make it from my count, because the other ones seem either too far west or too far east. And it may be less than that. It could maybe be half a dozen with about 10 minutes left.
So I'm kind of watching the yellow verticals with the maroon and the diamonds in it. I see Ralph Kaiser in EOS. That's the white one with the reds alternating. There is a racer high, more of a checkerboard with the blue pattern, who seems to be kind of dropping in for a pass. He's over the north edge of the field. So I see those 3. Kind of watching the red and white stripe. I believe it's blue on the other side. He's kind of far west. I'm not sure he's going to get enough east. And it feels like the wind has picked up here on the field in the last couple minutes. So things are starting to change just a little bit.
Well, that one with the yellow vertical stripes, that's Gary Michlik from Lafayette, California. You mentioned Ralph. The other ones, again, to your point, seem a little too far, either north or west, to be able to get it here in the next 8 minutes, unofficially.
Yeah, remember the winds at higher altitudes seem to be slower. So at this point, it's kind of time to drop down into the fast layer, which isn't necessarily the right direction. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Let's go over by the boat. We'll give you a look at some of these markers that were so close yet so far. So let's look inside the boat first. So remember we said that there are 2 baggies inside. The weighted part of the markers are over there. So one is about 12 inches closer than the other one. And until they pull up the markers, we'll have to figure out which one is the winner of the Sid Cutter Memorial. Then there's this one right here. There's the tail up here. But if we follow that down, there's the weighted point. That's where it's going to get measured to. Because it's outside of the boat, that's going to be, while it's technically closer to the measuring point, because it's outside, it gets 300 feet added. And then there is another one that just missed outside here as well. So while these would be 1 and 2 when we measure to that point back there, because they're outside, they're going to have that 300-point penalty added. So close. High risk, high reward, but it also means that if you don't get there, you got to have those other pieces. But that was the target to be able to get into the boat here today, the Sid Cutter Memorial. So we just watched, we've been talking about that yellow one. You said that was Gary Miklicek, I think?
Yes, from
with
Lafayette.
the yellow and the maroon and black. Yeah. And so all of a sudden he has gotten the push off to the west.
The dividing line strikes again. Although, Art, if that push happens, and I can't really tell yet, but that multicolored balloon with the black is either going to go left or right. And with what we've seen today, it's going to go right. But maybe I'll be wrong.
Well, yeah. He's kind of right on the line of where the dividing has been all morning. He's going to his left, which is our right. But not very fast. So I think he's still going to have a shot at the landmass with his orange marker. Meanwhile, actually, Gary over there in 91, actually right over the island over there. Here comes the landmass throw from the multicolor. Inside, that's nice. Find the other marker to get it on the X.
That's Chris Kleiber from Nashville, Tennessee in Rise and Shine.
Okay. Drifting away from the X, wind it up and throw. He's in there. Remember, getting a marker on the field today is a whole lot better than those people who didn't make the field. So they're going to be on the board on day one, back to that consistency we've been talking about. So they're on the board. The folks that didn't get to the target today are going to have to work a little bit harder and hope that these guys don't get to the target in days to come. So Ralph is going to be the next one coming in for a line. I see John Wilson has gone back up high. He was the blue one that was coming in, blue and white. But Ralph Kaios is Ralph Kaiser is with the white and the red coming in. Ralph flew our camera a few years ago for us on Balloon Fiesta Live, and the day he flew it, he ended up going out the wrong way to Bernalillo as well. There's something about carrying the Balloon Fiesta Live camera during competition, and it's a lot harder to get to the field for some reason. But here comes Ralph, just like he did the day after he carried our camera.
And he's good. Looks like he has a good truck coming in. This is his 35th year at Balloon Fiesta, so he knows the area. But as we all know, Mother Nature likes to play some tricks, and with that dividing line added onto it, makes it twice the fun, right, Art?
It does. And by my watch, we're down to about 3 minutes left in the scoring competition time frame. So that would probably make him the last one here. I'm looking to see where we're going to set the smoke off. I don't see the smoke person yet. The scoring officials starting to get there. Oh, John Wilson does throw from way over on the west side. That marker may have landed in the road, and Ralph is getting the push to the west as well. Ralph should still be able to hit the landmass, though, with his orange one. I see he has that marker out.
Again, Art, these images from these high-res cameras are just unbelievable. I'm watching this, and it looks like I'm sitting right next to the basket.
There's the throw from Ralph Kaiser's passenger. It's outside the landmass, but the throw on the X, much better score.
Well, Art, unofficially, and crowd, we're 2 minutes away from the 9:30 time period. Obviously, that's unofficial until we see the smoke from the safety team from the Albuquerque International Balloon Team. And now there were 8. And it looks like maybe only one Art will have an opportunity to make a throw. It's that purple with the green and yellow. They may be a little too far north, though.
Yeah, this is a matter of clock time now. Keep watching for who's sending the smoke off.
That's Al Appenzeller from Indianola as well, and Tied Together. Appropriate name for the balloon. Pretty balloon. Come on, Al, you can do it. Is he going to make it?
I don't think so.
He's definitely getting a push to the east from over the scoring area.
There's the smoke. He is not there. So competition is closed on day one with the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. What a challenging day, but we have 2 people in the boat, and we'll be able to confirm which one of those is closer. Remember, we showed you that there is only about 12 inches difference between first place and second place. Of course, the winner of the Sid Cutter Memorial gets a memorial plate as part of being the winner of this. It'll be presented by Jewel Cutter on Saturday at our awards brunch right here on the field, when not only will we award that, we'll be awarding places for every single task we do, and then of course the overall placement tasks and big money to go along with that, and really nice trophies as well. So all of that stuff happens on Saturday. By the way, we do record that and put it up for viewing, so you can always check that out on Saturday and afternoon or Sunday. If you want to see what that looks like, all of our coverage of Balloon Fiesta Live is still online, and you can check it out all at balloonfiestalive.com. And those of you out here on the field, go home and you're going to be able to see the great shots that Ted and I have been talking about. I'm Art Lloyd Jr. down here in the competition area. Back up to you, Ted, on the roof to finish us out today. And back to the stage with Bill Royal.
Thanks, Art. Well, we have day 1 of competition completed, and we'll get those scores later on. We want to thank all the pilots that participated today, not only in the competition, but in the Maes ascension that happened prior to. We have a little bit of housekeeping information to go off of here. So if I can get the truck to put up the information regarding how you can get your photographs to us. So please email any photographs you have, whether you were watching at home, whether you were having a party, whether you were at work and don't tell your boss that you were doing it. Email everything to balloonfiestalive@balloonfiesta.com. So we're looking for your photos. You get them to us and we will stick them up on the air, and we'll be able to highlight not only what's happening here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, but also what's happening throughout the world, actually. This is a worldwide event. Secondly, we do have our giveaway. Our giveaway is this Balloon Fiesta Live license plate. How do you enter? Well, you scan that QR code, and you scan it only one time, and once you do that, you are then eligible to be entered in, not only to win the license plate, but to win one of these jackets like I'm wearing. We will be pulling the drawing for today's winners this evening and announcing them tomorrow morning, because Art's down on the field and his little generator over here, I'm not authorized to use. That's only Art's authorized to touch that. I'm only kidding. The other thing, too, is we also are offering get your Balloon Fiesta gear. We're offering 10% off if you use BL Live. Go to balloonfiestastuff.com and order your stuff today. It's only good, and it's only a one-time use coupon for any sportswear. So you're talking hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, T-shirts, socks, anything that they have on balloonfiestastuff.com. Please go on there and take a look at it. The stuff is starting to sell out in certain areas. Plus, we have other stuff on there as well. Does not qualify for the 10% off, but the pins this year, especially the pen of the poster, I think is phenomenal. So as soon as I get off the air here, I'm going down to the tent, and I'm going to pick one up for myself, because I am kind of a pen nerd, and I have thousands of them. So I'm sure my wife is real happy I'm bringing another one home. Other than that, we have had just a tremendous day here today. Started off with having a little bit of our dawn patrol, and then a great mass ascension, and then wound the day off with a tough competition. Again, not easy when that dividing line seems to push the balloons away from the Sid Cutter Memorial boat. And it's happened year after year after year, and Art and I have talked about that. So I'll tell you what, I think, Stephen, I think we're good to call it for today. All right, so until tomorrow morning, we'll be back on at 6 a.m. I'm Ted Maes. For Art Lloyd Jr., we will see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. for Balloon Fiesta Live. So long, everybody.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.